Beautiful, beautiful. How have you been, man?
I'm good. Well, I'm vibing. I don't know if I'm good. I'm chilling. We're making it through. Every day is just,
Every day's a battle. Yeah,
every day's another day.
yeah, man. I forgot you moved out of New York City. You're in
Yeah,
Austin now, or where are you?
I am in Austin now. So I
Oh,
have like
nice.
actual space now. It's great.
That's good.
I'll
How's
put
it
my
like in
story on.
Austin?
Warm, for example, it's like pretty warm today. I was outside in a t-shirt. It's pretty much warm all the time. I like that. Otherwise, it's like a city, but it's like I can actually, but like things are more affordable. So like you
Is
can
it?
have like an apartment with like actual space for the same
That's
price.
good.
Well, actually, for way cheaper. Actually, like this
That's
apartment would be 3 times as expensive in New York City.
that's good, man. Because like, is Austin still happening though? Is it still like
I don't know what
growth?
happening is. I'm old. I don't know what happening. It's kind of it's growing for sure. It's still growing, but it's happening in a different way. It's more like tech dudes. It's
Yeah, that's what I mean.
it's like Elon types and whatever. They're all moving here, which is better for me because I didn't like the cringe things they were doing before.
Are they still moving there? I thought they were all moving to Miami now. Or
No,
that's
no
like
one's moving
just.
to Miami. That was a meme. People move to Miami and nothing happens, and then FTX goes under. No one's moving to Miami. Anyone with any sense moved here, not
That's
Miami.
true. That's true. Um, but well, we'll talk a little bit about tech because let's suspend all crypto till we know what's going on.
I
Uh,
don't know what's going on in crypto either. It's so over.
is it no? But that's I guess I have a bunch
No,
of
it's not
stuff I
really
want to talk
over.
about.
It's not really over. It's just kind
Yeah.
of over.
Okay, but let's go through this though. But first of all, it's been quite a while since we talked like one on one. But also, since a lot of funny business happened last year with me and follow the rules. But
Mm, all
because
those.
but I don't know. I don't want to get you into trouble. But
There's been so many schisms. Jules is with James.
yeah,
Lev is on his own. You're doing your everyone's schism. So I don't know what's going on, but I assume there was some happenings.
well, I wonder because some of my I guess some topics now that you're in Austin. I mean, you don't have as much finger on the pulse of New York because I want to talk about the e girl the summit. But
Oh, I'm on the pulse of that. I know Marie and Leah and the
yeah,
I don't know Pariah or the other chick and who's the other person in that? I know two of
um,
them. I know at least two of them.
yeah,
I know the two biggest figures.
yeah. But well, I
No,
mean,
three. I know Blicky. Blicky. I know Blicky too. So I know 3 out of 5.
well, maybe we'll paywall the if we talk about some.
I've hung out with Blicky multiple times. That's my homie. She doesn't count. She shouldn't even have been there. She was
Yeah, I
drunk.
know.
So shout out to Blicky.
She
She just ended up in that
she
mess.
caught a stray. In other
She
words.
caught a stray for sure. She for real caught a stray.
Oh my god. Well, we'll talk about that, but I want to talk about crypto, but also some of your essays. But
Hmm.
but maybe we'll paywall the e-girl stuff because that gets because I want to talk about the whole the Dime Square extended universe,
I don't.
as
Yeah.
default calls it.
Mhm.
But the crypto thing, so you are. I mean, you're not a crypto guru, but there's many things like I know like with your work, you talk about like the intersection of like crypto and blockchain, but also the more aesthetic things. Like for example, I was watching when it came out your defense of the Milady thing, which we can
Mhm.
get into.
Which
But
I'm so vindicated in, by the way.
well, we'll
Anyway.
get into that. I mean,
Okay. Okay.
yeah. I mean, because there's still like a lot of stuff around it. Like there was that Soph video, and I mean, at the time my fans were divided on it, um, but in crypto in general, like okay, so the FTX thing happens.
Mhm.
What is it like now? Is crypto done for? Is this sort of utopian like Nick Landian dream of a blockchain society been thwarted? And Mark Fisher's right. Cancellation of the future. It's over. Capitalist
No.
realism won. Go
No.
ahead,
No.
Joe.
No.
Go. What's your analysis? What's your
I
analysis?
think if anything, Nick Land's still on track. I think
Oh man.
utopia part. I mean, I don't know if his vision was ever utopic though.
No,
It
I mean,
always
yeah,
felt,
that's probably
but like
yeah, that's
his
a bad
vision is
word.
more likely of what's to happen. Like the technology is not gone, and also like people are still like the thing that's gone away is the trust in like the current institutions. I guess like obviously Sam was
Yeah.
what people had most faith in, but Sam was never really for like following that whole original ethos. Sam was
Right.
centralized. He had a centralized exchange, and he was actively making legislation to ruin the ability for other companies in like the West to like thrive. Right? Like if Sam didn't fall when he did, he was pushing through regulation in Congress to make it like to make the KYC and stuff like that, like the
Yeah.
criteria to jump the hoops to jump through much stronger, so that only he could survive essentially. He was very much opposite crypto ethos. He just was trying to make money, which one might expect. He was a very youngest billionaire. So,
Yeah, but
um,
it seems like the hype around it, like there was an like I know from people when I tweeted about it, they said that there were people that knew like within the crypto community, like people on Biz that sussed him out. And so maybe if you could like I know there's been, huge exposés on this, but what's your like take on the whole Bankman-Fried thing? Was he really just like a poison pill for the Democrat Party to destroy crypto? Because, for example, here in Canada, Justin Trudeau wants to basically ban crypto,
no,
and
he's not a
yeah,
poison pill for Democrat Party. He was both sides. He's just a chaotic neutral actor. He would pay off both sides. He just like publicly paid off the Democratic Party because you can do that. Because like he's smart enough to know that like the Democrats are like, the actual power in the United States, right? Everyone
mm,
wants to pretend like it's like a struggle, but it's not. So he knows he could publicly pay off the Democrats because that looks good for New York City and San Francisco. But he was paying like in like the dark channels for the Republicans too. He paid off everyone. I think he even said it in an interview. He's like, everyone only focused on that because my mom, but I paid off literally everybody, so that no matter who won, I still would be
yeah,
fine.
yeah. I
Um,
mean, he paid off a lot of anti-Trump candidates, if I recall, like a lot of DeSantis people.
yeah, DeSantis, he paid
Yeah,
off literally every single person he could pay off if it was available to him. He was not really. I don't think he was like. Well,
he was
I don't know.
ideological in a sense, but not like in the way
No,
that we would figure.
yeah, he was ideological in a sense, but like just not like partisan. I
Mm,
do have. I think some of the NSA or CIA or whatever theories that people have, I think might have some legitimacy.
mm,
Um, we'll see how his trial pans out, but I think there's some legitimacy there. I will say though, more likely than not, he was just like, um, yeah, I think more likely than not, he's just kind of like self-interested, and then he did like have his whole like stimmed out tweaker moment. But
yeah,
this is why I actually start to have more faith in the CIA rumors, because it's like he just became like he just got like addicted to like stimulants and started to do like insane gambling. So it's like
yeah,
I don't know. It's kind of impressive that you can get that far without like deep pockets, and like I don't know. I just feel like he was working for somebody else. I don't think it was for anti crypto though. I think I think crypto itself as a technology is actually really useful for like major
right.
governments, right? Because now you can like have like you can't do a new world order type of like one like universal passport with like social credit without blockchain. So
Yeah,
that's
sure.
already like that's like actually a useful technology for them. In fact, doing like a getting it very heavily centralized and then getting like a unique identifier for every person on the planet that's immutable and public, like easy to trace, is helpful for them. So they don't want it to go away. They just want to be in control of it. Um, him going away is actually probably best for the space long term. It's bad for
Mm,
public support of it in the near future. So this is kind of like a .com bubble burst, if anything.
yeah,
It,
yeah.
yeah.
But do you think that the long-term consequences, like if you look at the dot-com bubble, the dot-com bubble, you could see, and this leads into your other essay, which we'll talk about the internet itself and the closing of the internet, because the dot-com bubble, like really, I think was the first blow in terms of like decentralized internet, you could say. A lot of these companies that
Mm-hmm.
went by the wayside cleared the way for Amazon and so forth. But do you think it's like on the level of a dot-com bubble? Like that will it
No,
will yeah.
no, because the cycles in crypto are faster because it's
Yeah.
largely laissez-faire, right? So .com bubble is more of a major like cataclysm because it like takes longer to recover
Yeah.
because there's like actual like regulations and stuff involved there. Since regulations still, despite it existing now, is still shoddy, the speed of recovery will be a lot faster. So I don't think it's going to be like a like a I don't know, like a bubble that's going to burst and like take 10 years. Um, but I do think that like after Terra, imploded and also FTX in the same like 6-month period, it's going to take
Mm,
a while for it to like probably come back. People are saying that the bottom's in. I'm like, are you? But no, it's not. The bottom's not in. I mean, like it might like go much lower,
yeah.
but we're not coming back. Like if anything, it goes sideways for like years. I have a hard time believing the bottom's in though. You're out of your mind. Um, like
Well, like you
this.
said, yeah, crypto is like the future in some ways. But sorry, I cut you off. Sorry. Yeah.
No. I mean, like, I might be eating my words. We'll see in like a month or two. But I was saying the other day on the timeline, like Chinese New Year is around the corner. We'll see if
Yeah.
the bottom, if like this pump happens and continues to happen after all of Asia or all of China and Taiwan and shits are cashing out crypto to pay for, the envelopes of money they hand out. Every year it
Yeah.
crashes in February or January or whatever.
Yeah, that's right. And I mean, the Chinese, they're trying to like perfect this like global blockchain crypto technology and the Shanghai cooperation. And it really is, I think, like you were saying, like if anything, it benefits the regime and that
Mm-hmm.
you can subscribe to like the closest equivalent of a global bank there is with crypto.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I mean, like I've never had any utopian views of it. Like I think I even wrote an essay which I was looking for because I wanted to republish it on my Substack. Um,
Mm.
that might have disappeared, but it was called crypto blockchain is not going to change the world, and that's a good thing. Like, or is like not going to save the world, something like that. And I
Yeah.
basically wrote about all this. I was like ahead of time. Like this was 2018. I was like, first of all, maybe it was 2019. I was like, first of all, it's not going to save the world. There's no utopian. This isn't going to make everyone like everything equal. I don't know why everyone tries to start pushing that. Like decentralization means equality. No, decentralization means like more stratification.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I don't know. I just don't understand where like 90% of what people say about crypto even comes from. Like it, whether you're from like anti-crypto perspective, you're like, oh, it's used. People are using it as like a private chain, like a untraceable chain to do nefarious acts when it's like a completely public ledger and everyone can
Yeah.
read it. So it's actually really hard to do really nefarious acts without leaving a paper trail. That's the whole reason why it was invented, because like you can follow funds publicly. So that's
Yeah.
not correct. I never understood that narrative. And then the other side that's like this is a chance for everyone to get equal. No, it's not. It's actually going to make things even more stratified, and people who are early adopters are going to get money. And then while there's like it's more opportunity that it's available because anyone can make something, it's not gonna make even any kind of playing field whatsoever.
No,
So
there's already people like that have the resources and the maneuverability to do what they're going to do. Like it's not going to be
mm,
this equalization thing. Like it's funny because crypto, like they do, like the takes on it in the left and right are kind of interesting in that it's like universal equality. It's sort of like the reviving of like a California ideology type of thing. Whereas
mm.
like on the right wing, you have like Nick Land. He wrote that whole book on blockchain, how that will like lead to
But he
that
did,
will.
and he actually released the book.
Did he release it
I
or
don't
he
know. I
didn't
remember
release
I know
it?
he was writing a Bitcoin book, and I just never knew if it ever came out.
I think it may have. I have to look.
I know
I
he
have to
was
look
writing
into
about
it.
it a lot. I know he wanted
Yeah,
to, but I never actually followed up on that.
yeah. Like he thought the opposite. He thought the blockchain, as much as it would like reveal a lot of hidden relations in society, it more or less would lead to immense acceleration of stratification, if I
Hmm.
recall. And it
Yeah,
would.
I
It's
mean that's
so
like
yeah,
what you should expect. Like that's what happens
yeah,
under any free market. It like I don't know. It's uniquely useful for the completely with people with absolutely zero money because like you can get involved in markets that are really low liquidity, right? Which is why that's why people want to be pro crypto, right? Because they go,
mm,
okay, I can deal with shit coins where there's like where the markets are too small for any big player to really get in
right,
because there's just
yeah,
not enough liquidity for their money. But also it's really good for big players because they can do whatever the hell they want. But like the middle is just not no one's benefiting in the middle. Everyone's stealing from the middle
yeah. It
in
seems
large
like, but
quantity.
but again, that's like the trends of most markets is that the
Yeah.
middleman, like the middle pool of like most like short time investors. Like for example, my old man plays the stocks like of oil and so forth. But it's
Hmm.
like really, it's chichi beans, right? It's not the whole like drive towards the market isn't for the average Joe, like most things in society. It seems,
Exactly.
yeah, it seems like people like you, like, would you say you're on the bottom end of crypto? Like
Oh
you're
yeah, I'm
like,
still at bottom. I mean, like I'm
yeah,
not unless you're like Sam or I guess not anymore, but like a Sam Bankman,
yeah,
you're in the bottom.
or like
there's
an
or like
Andreessen or like that level.
Andreas,
Like,
yeah, sort of him or like Kobe, even Kobe who does like Up Only TV podcast. He's like in
mm,
the top, even though like he's like kind of our friend, like he's people's friends, like who've known him for years. But
yeah.
he's like won enough times that he's probably nearing a billionaire at this point, but he
Oh
keeps it on
man.
the DL. But like he's in like he's in like the upper echelon. He's in group chats with like Vitalik, and even though he's like the cool guy who runs the podcast,
Yeah.
he's up
Yeah.
there.
But that's what I mean. Like, it seems that with tech and crypto, um, like a lot of the utopian visions were sort of frustrated in the 2000s, and now it's like people have this. I think they still have a lot of like the meme of crypto being like super super spoopy, scary, dark, like dark web, buying drugs off of the Silk Road, or it's like random Bitcoin millionaire that got in early, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
they're but you think the picture overall is, with crypto, is not as sexy or as interesting as people make it out to be, because like tech bros, especially on Twitter, like we know, like they love to market themselves as like this is the new elite, this is the echelon of society, but you think that's like not
No, I think it's
like
still
yeah.
interesting. I think it's still interesting
Yeah.
for sure. Not as sexy for sure.
Hmm.
Like I don't know. I mean, it depends what you mean by sexy. Like it's interesting in that like you can start up a project tomorrow and become a crypto millionaire. That's very doable.
Hmm.
So that's exciting, right? Because you can't really do that in like traditional markets. So if you're motivated enough and can kind of piece the pieces together, you can do it. Um, and you have to be a little bit clever because, like, everyone's seen everything under the sun at this point. So or you have to be really, really dumb and just do something so dumb that it works. It's kind of lucky.
Falling
Um,
upwards, yeah.
yeah, you could like a lot of people have fallen upwards in crypto. So you could be an idiot and get lucky, or you can be smart and get lucky, but you still got to get lucky a bit. But anyone can do it, right?
Hmm.
Or you know, but it's not like the utopian vision. I don't know where people have that idea from. I just don't. I never understood that. Even from like back when I first got in it, when I was still wide eyed and doe eyed and whatever. I just still
Yeah.
was like, I don't think you understand what this is.
Well, because like you're part of, like, I guess both of us, and we're roughly the same age. I just turned 30 in December.
Nice,
So
nice.
yeah, I
I
know,
turn
man.
31 next month.
Oh
It's over
man,
for me.
bro.
It's literally
It's
over.
it's over. Yeah. But I think like we were part of that millennial generation that like certain people saw it, but I don't know if you covered this with Justin Murphy, but like what was your initial interest in crypto and blockchain and all of this stuff? Like, were you one of those early people that saw the potential in Bitcoin and sort of got on, or no?
I got into it because I was well, I wanted to be a
You were a
cryptographer.
math teacher, right? Like you were
I was a
at
math
one
teacher,
point.
but I got into it before I was a math teacher.
Hmm.
I studied math in undergrad, and I wanted to like work for the NSA or something,
Hmm.
and do like cryptography and encryption. I would have worked for Google. I didn't really care who I was working for. I just wanted to get a job in that. And in but like in school, I like studied finance and well, I didn't study finance, but like I had like finance internship, and like a lot of my friends went into
Hmm.
finance, and I was already kind of interested in that a little bit. And then I found crypto, and I had used it before for like drugs or whatever in college.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, but then like seeing as the space was growing, and it wasn't just Bitcoin mining anymore. As I was looking for applications of encryption, right? Because I was like
Hmm.
trying to get jobs, right, and get hired, right. So I would like make like the first thing I did was like I made the Enigma machine from World War II, whatever. I like made it in Python, right? And I was like, okay, that's kind of a cool project. What else can I
Oh,
learn? Can I
interesting.
do? Um, so I can like build my resume, right? And
Yeah.
then in the process, I ended up finding crypto, and I was like, oh, this is a really cool application. I just was like, this is just better. It's a new field. You're an expert faster, right? Like I realized
Yeah.
really quickly at it after like a year, like I was like, oh, I effectively have found everything that exists on this already. Um, because it's in such a new field, and I was like, okay, I'll write a book then. And then that was a fun arc when I was like applying to jobs, and I was like, oh, I wrote a book on this. They're like, you don't usually write a book to get a job. I was like, I don't know, what the fuck you want me to do? You guys aren't hiring me before I did this. So I don't know what you
Yeah,
want.
this book that you try to kayfabe it a lot in multiple interviews. Like, I don't like it anymore. So
I don't like it anymore, but
you
I
should,
did
but you
write a
should
book.
sell it though. Maybe you should maybe
I
revise
did
it or
sell it.
something.
I mean, I the thing is, I don't feel like revising it, and it's out of date.
Uh,
So like, I had to like go through it and rewrite it essentially. And I just don't want to do that. But
Mm, yeah.
it might sell now, but it's kind of like,
The world has changed, in other words.
yeah, it's just not as
Yeah.
interesting to me. And it's also like, yeah, just it's just so out of date. I just don't feel like doing it. It would take a lot of effort. Now I could make a sequel, but again, I don't want to do that either. So
Yeah.
it's just going to be in La La Land, and it's just something I did that
But
I'm
but
like,
but why? But because you come from an interesting background, an artist in your family, an artistic
mhm.
background, you could have, I think, been like a crypto guru. You could have been like a, you could have had some conference and you could have sold yourself, and
Uh,
you have the
I tried to
look
do that.
and
I did try
yeah.
to do that. I got into crypto, of course, I got like really heavily into crypto. Like I wrote that in the bear market,
Mm,
right after like the 2017 bubble. So I wrote that in 2018 and released it in the bear market in 2018. So I was trying to do that, but just no one cared because the bear market just kept getting worse and worse. And
mm,
then 2019, I still tried to do that, and I got a little, but I don't know, just like life got in the way, and then like I was a
yeah.
teacher, it was just difficult, and then the pandemic hit. So the plan
Okay.
was going into the pandemic to kind of start doing this because I saw crypto coming back, but then I couldn't go anywhere, so I was like, okay, this isn't really working. I mean, I just kind of ended up doing DeFi summer stuff and just building my online presence. Like my podcast version 4 was like was originally supposed to be a way to build clout so that I can get back into crypto.
Mm,
And like I was gonna have more and more crypto people on, but I just got bored and a lot of the crypto people disappeared because of the bear market. So I just
yeah.
like pivoted into what I found more interesting.
Yeah, online weirdos. So
Online weirdos, right?
totally,
Exactly.
totally, yeah, totally won't get canceled for that. No, but
No,
I
no,
guess
and I didn't get canceled for that. That's actually funny enough, not what I'm canceled for. But like, yeah, the online weirdos was more my thing. And I don't get enough credit for it, but I created the online Schizo podcast. I want to
it's
let
true.
everyone know that I did, and I get no credit for that because no one was interviewing. Literally, no one was interviewing online anons. They were like interviewing like the face stocks people, your
Yeah,
standard fare, right? Because
yeah,
that I mean, like Justin Murphy kind of did a little bit, and Meta Nomad. I got to give them credit because
yes,
I think I listened to Meta Nomad's podcast, talking to some dude, and I was like, oh wait, why doesn't just someone just do this only? This is the only thing. I'm like, this is way better. So
yeah,
I did take it from them too, but even Justin didn't do anonymous people. He picked like just online weirdos, but they would face stocks.
yeah. Like me, I
Um,
was one of the first people he interviewed,
mhm.
which I
Yeah,
gotta.
exactly.
This is why I'll never on him. He's my boy for life. He did me a solid. Like
Hmm.
for all the people that hate Justin Murphy,
Listen,
he's
he
a
came.
grifter. Like you got to know what he's doing. Okay,
Yeah,
like he,
yeah. He gets too
yeah,
much. I mean, he was on
yeah,
my podcast when I had like 300 followers. I've never, and I've hung out with him a bunch. I'm never shit. I like
yeah,
Justin. But yeah, once I realized that like this is more interesting, and also this is more what I care about, I started doing it, and now everyone was like, oh wait, why don't we? We've been in here longer. Why don't we do this? And then now everyone
yeah.
has a podcast. But I did it. I just want everyone to know that
Exactly. Yeah, I was on version 4. I
you
remember.
were
That
on
was
version 4.
I was still using my Mac. That's why the camera was crappy. So
Yeah, version 4 was fun. I wish I kept doing it because it actually got more views after I stopped doing it.
wow.
The
Yeah.
momentum kind of kept building, and so like when I was doing it, and I was like there were some episodes I got views, but like most of the view count and most of those Spotify listens, especially the Spotify listens,
Yeah.
happened after I stopped. Which is
Man.
why when I realized that, that's when I started talking to Lucas about doing the thing we're doing now.
Yeah, but would you go back to version 4? You're just solid with like Lucas. That's pretty much
I
what you're
don't
doing.
think so. I mean, I kind of want to. So there's two. So like, I kind of feel like my Substack is my version 4 extension.
Mm,
And this is why I didn't change the name of it. It's still version 4 Samizdat. I feel like a lot of the ideas from that I kind of continue, and also I do want to either probably really soon re-upload them to the Substack and
yeah.
also like transcript them and put them on the Substack. But that's like its own. That's just like standalone. Uh,
Yeah.
version Lucas is the spiritual successor. In that, I realize ultimately there's more of a transcending even just the saying things you're not supposed to say
Mm,
paradigm into more
yeah.
of a slightly more casual comedic type of thing is more scalable.
Yeah, exactly. I think like me and Prudentialist, we do that with Digital Archipelago. But
Hmm.
like content minded is still my flagship, but like I like the dynamic that we have. Um because like we always like it's like you're wilding off on a live stream. It's kind of different
Mm-hmm.
because live streaming is an art form in itself, whereas like what we're doing right now, like us being podcast men. Oh man, that's a terrible thing to say. Oh my god, I feel like
Podcast
taking
man.
yeah, or like content creator. It's like you want to
Yeah, content
take a
creator. I like it.
but
I'm a
it's one of
content
the
creator.
it's one of those terms like you want to take a shower after you say
No, no, no. I don't feel.
it.
I have no qualms about being a content creator.
Yeah,
Shit,
yeah.
anything that pays the bills. Me and Lucas are very pro grifting. I don't know if you've heard our podcast, but we are very pro
Me
grifting in
too,
the
man.
podcast.
Me too. That's
I
what.
look, listen.
Yeah.
If you would have told me that I could have been making money just saying by adding a paywall, this is a revelation to me. Like, obviously, I've always been like, I mean, I think a lot of the reason I can have a paywall now is because I built attention when I was doing
Yeah.
it for
Same
free.
with me. Yeah. Yeah.
But like now that I can add a paywall, I'm like, I'm not adding a paywall. People get mad at me like, oh, I'm like, listen, I have bills to pay, so I don't care. I'm adding a paywall. If I do any research, if I'm writing this with any kind of like effort, I'm putting a paywall up and I put it halfway in the article. I'm very nice. I don't paywall at the beginning of anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
I put it like, see, I mean, I'm a little bit of a dick because I know exactly what you came for. So I put it like right before the like when I did the vitamin D article, I was like, I know my readers want to see the vitamin D race and schizophrenia article. So I put the
Yeah.
paywall right after the title because I want you to see that. I want you like if you want that, you got to pay for that. Plus, you can get canceled for that. So, uh,
Yeah, true.
but
That's what I do with my paywall. It's like I give free listeners more, obviously.
mhm,
And of course I recently uploaded everything to Substack too, so you can pay me there. Because I
mhm,
feel like I was hitting the millennial demographic with Patreon, but like
mhm.
Substack has like even default was like, Geo, just go on Substack. Like
Substance
literally
way
like
better.
yeah,
I've never
yeah,
seen any platform in my life that people are like actively pay for. Like I never
yeah.
like it's actually me and Lucas were talking about this literally yesterday. I was like, I don't understand why like people don't read anymore. And
Mhm.
people certainly don't pay for reading. I like everyone does libgen. Like I don't know,
Yeah.
but like on Substack they'll pay like very quickly. And I'm not upset about it, but like very quickly my Substack's growing in like paid subscribers.
Me
It's like
too.
snowballing, and I just didn't realize that was a thing that happened. I would have started my Substack. I started my Substack in 2020. I would have been writing paid
Yeah,
articles
same.
for years at this point if I had known. And I like did it very spotty, and I never put a paywall until like the first time I did it was September, maybe.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, so I love Substack. I'm a big fan, and I will continue to be putting it out weekly or close to weekly as possible.
I wanted to be a blog writer of like the weekly thing, but I noticed whenever I try to write, it turns into a monster. Like my recent one from New Year's about like the online world. A lot of it had like Byung Chul Han and Heidegger. That was like I think almost 20 pages because it's like it starts
Yeah,
off as a small thing and then
it
but
keeps
with
going.
yeah, it keeps going. But then I can never like focus on it. But
I just
Substack is
stop.
great.
I just
Yeah.
stop it. Like with the vitamin D article, like that was reaching the character limit. Actually,
Mm,
a few of my articles have reached the character limit of like the email character limit, and I'm just like, all right,
yeah.
I'm stopping it here because A, no one's gonna read it anymore, and B, like if I keep going, it's gonna go like it's gonna might as well be a book at that point.
But Substack, I notice it's one of the few like Patreon people like drop out and like, they'll pay for a little bit. But Substack, I notice like it's
Hmm.
one of the few platforms now where the more you publish, the more you actually see legitimate growth
Oh,
and
absolutely.
subscribers. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's it's actually weird. It's not, and it's funny because it's not even like there's a search algorithm in Substack. It's like
Yeah.
all word
True.
of mouth, and I guess
Google
that's kind of
Google
what
throttles it. Yeah. They don't like Substack, I
yeah,
think.
yeah. Google throttles
Yeah.
it, and like Twitter doesn't. It doesn't like it converts from Twitter, but not like massive conversion. But like
Mm,
once someone like who's respectable finds your Substack and retweets it or like puts it on their website, you get
yeah.
a ton of traffic, and then like people start paying, and I'm like, which is good. I guess it's like a referral network, which is probably why it has like the pay legitimacy because it's like this person I'm respecting respects this writing enough to like share
Yeah.
it with me. So it must be
Even
good.
like I know people like not to name names, but I know like Andreasen subscribes to people that like even I would consider far right.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
he
I think
subscribes to
also
everybody.
when
Yeah.
you remove the ability for people to have like any kind of edgy information anywhere, like
Mhm.
if
Yeah.
like Substack's one of the only places that you can actually like post long form and then not get like memory hold. right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
because of that, like I think that also adds to it because people know that like people are speaking freely. They're not like, and like the only thing that's allowing them to speak freely is the fact that like people are paying for it and people
Yeah.
want that. This is what magazines and stuff used to do. So I feel like Substack is just like the old. I guess it's just a zine or something. I don't know. I love it though, and I spend more time thinking about Substack articles than I do anything else really.
Man, yeah, it is like the old like people don't, for example, a lot of like I know this is a terrible example, but paywall Playboy used to publish like counterculture
No,
figures.
that's not a terrible
Yeah.
example. That's literally
Yeah.
it's like I mean, except for the fact that there's tits. I mean, it's basically the same as Substack. Like the
But there
Playboy
was good
articles legitimately
quality
were
though.
good. They were like yeah,
Yeah.
they were legitimately good.
Yeah, and I think do you think my thesis is that perhaps Substack revives a feeling of the early internet, hence why you have a lot of like the older reactionary like NRX people that
Mhm.
glommed onto Substack. Like I mean, of course, Molbug led the charge, but
No, it's absolutely like
yeah,
early internet vibes, and it's also like it's not like a well-known website. Like I
yeah.
didn't realize that because it seems in our sphere like it's like the most common thing ever when I
Oh
ever
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
happened. But
100%.
I told my sister, and my sister's like 26 and fairly plugged into stuff. I was like, "Oh yeah, my Substack," and she's like, "What is that?" Like just
Mm,
like unless you're looking for a Substack, you just don't know what it. Like it's not like she's in California, right? So like
yeah,
just she's more into movies and stuff, but she's never heard of that.
yeah,
It's not a big platform. It serves a specific niche, and I think because it serves that niche well,
yeah,
it's why people are willing to pay for it. And listen,
yeah,
you can make a ton of money on Substack, which if you're like halfway decent, because I think I suck, but I'm not a ton of money, but I'm making like more than $0, and I've never made other than like an actual job, I've never made any money from writing ever.
I
So
know
I'm
people who
happy
make a
about it.
living wage off of Substack.
Oh yeah, I know
I
people
have
make a
friends.
ridiculous
Yeah,
wage off of Substack.
yeah, yeah.
Like I
Like
was been
even
hanging out
people
with
I hate,
Razib.
like
I
even
was hanging
people
out
I
with
don't
Razib
like.
in Texas. He makes a ton
Yeah.
of money off Substack.
Oh yeah, like even people I don't like Grifty Man, but
Yeah, I don't know
you
that.
know,
Oh, like Lindy Man.
yeah, yeah,
Oh
Paul
yeah, yeah. Oh,
Scully.
he makes stupid money. He
Yeah,
makes
yeah.
and like I heard what's his face? Bitcoin. What's his name? The Pompliano, Anthony Pompliano.
Oh
He makes like millions. He makes like he has like so I can't remember his number of subscribers. I think he has like 50,000 paid subscribers. He was like
man,
the number one paid subscriber guy for a minute, and he makes millions
holy
doing like writing this bullshit articles about. I don't even understand what he doesn't say anything interesting, but hey, listen, more power to him.
But that's another thing. Before we go back to crypto, and your articles,
Mm.
also like your take on the scene, I guess. But do you think that the problem with Substack is you have a lot of professional journalists who have quote unquote been, I use the scare quotes, canceled, because let's face it, they're still at least tacitly regime approved. I'm thinking of like the Barry Weiss containment, like woke centrist people like Taibbi, her, Andrew
Is Taibbi
Sullivan.
canceled?
Well,
Taibbi,
he's like definitely not cancel, but like there's a lot of leftoids that go
bro,
after him for articles he wrote in Russia,
bro.
for instance. Yeah.
He's not Taibbi in my head. All right, maybe I'm old because Taibbi in my head is like establishment, like
Yeah.
the establishment name. But I guess
Really, eh?
I don't know. When I think I don't know what I think Taibbi from. Wasn't he like?
He was
Wasn't
part
he?
of the Exiled. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but like, what is his article before that? Wasn't he doing a lot of stuff like the Occupy stuff, and wasn't he doing like
Yes, he was
the
one of the first
Warren?
Occupy people.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I
He
don't
was
know.
there with like David Graeber and yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's what I think of Taibbi as. But hey, what do I
But I
know?
think nowadays, like with the Twitter files thing, he's sort of trying to pose himself as like, I am the alt journalist, like with M. Tracy and Barry, like the Barry Weiss containment field. He,
I hate the way Elon's doing this. Release the article. I want to read it myself. I don't trust any of these journos. Okay,
yeah,
journos, they're over, bro. After they've lost all legitimacy. I don't
yeah,
care. You can't
yeah.
tell me anything. I don't care if you think you're fucking. No, you're done. It's over. I don't want to see another journal in my life. I don't trust a single one of you. The
Um,
lies, and then they want to just be like, oh well, everyone. No, shut up. No, not everyone. In fact, I
yeah.
told people from the day for the first day, the second I saw foul, I was like, we're in for some bullshit. And I've repeated that tweet a million times.
I'm gonna have to paywall it for YouTube, but no, but yeah, but
I think you
do
could
you?
actually talk about you now.
I think you can, yeah, yeah. But do you think, like, what I mean is that do you think that journalists that, like, for example, Barry Weiss, she pretended to be canceled because of like the New York Times, like, oh, they're not pro-Israel enough. But do you think that maybe journalists have yeah, yeah, no, eh? Take it.
I'm sorry, what?
No, she left the New York Times because they were critical of that one nation in the Middle East.
That's
So
why she left. She's
yeah,
exiled. She's canceled for being too. Is that what? Is that
yes,
what the?
yeah.
Get the out of here! Shut
She
up.
manufactured it. It's like I know, bro. It's so over for Weiss
That's
now.
what I'm talking about. Taibbi and Barry Weiss are canceled. Okay, all right.
I think like now it's funny because having like observing, like lurking a lot of these anti you
Hello.
know what spaces, they they pretend like these people are like far right fascists now. No, no, like Barry Weiss, Matt Taibbi is like a Russian shill. He's getting paid by the Kremlin with Elon. Like they have this monkey chain of connections between like Elon, the Kremlin, Matt Taibbi, Twitter files. All of it's like international fascism, apparently. Like that's
Mm,
the thinking of the left now. Um
that's very interesting.
yeah, yeah. But what I mean is like, do you feel that these journalists who like their stock is lowering, obviously, that they'll like potentially colonize Substack and be like, you know what, we're hip and cool. We're like you kids, bloggers.
Um,
Yeah.
Potentially, but I probably not because they want legitimacy, and you can't get
Hmm.
legitimacy from Substack. Like, I mean, you can kind of get it, like,
Well,
but
Michael Tracy is like a good
yeah, I
example
mean,
of
like, you're
that.
not gonna
Yeah.
get like no legitimacy from Substack. You took the
Yeah.
time to like do like long form, and they know it's not. They know it's not like adhering to an editor, right? So there's some
Yeah.
legitimacy there, but it's not like Taibbi wants like whatever the intercept version of whatever he's doing is. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like he wants like true, like he wants to be accepted by
He wants to
Mama.
be a real gumshoe, like
Yeah, he
real
wants to be a
Glenn Greenwald.
gumshoe. Yeah, he
Yeah.
wants to be accepted by the cathedral. So he's not gonna go to Substack.
That's like Glenn Greenwald is like the guy who is the man, and now I guess he's a part of the international fascist Putin
Yeah, because he
the
also
conspiracy.
has actual morals.
Yeah.
From what I remember, I mean, he got the Intercept got canceled for something. I don't remember what, but like canceled by like people who
Yeah, the
integrity.
leftoids.
No,
Yeah.
not canceled that way. Like people who cared about like intellectual integrity in
Mm.
journalism. They didn't like the Intercept, but he might have left at that point.
I think
So
he left in like the editor. There was some kind of thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Well, even
We
like
like Glenwald. We like Glenn Greenwald.
yeah, I'm pro Glenn Greenwald. I think
Yeah.
that
He's one
he
of the
did
last.
well.
He's the last of a dying breed. Probably the last
Exactly.
journalist, honestly. If I had to, like, actually, probably the last journalist, if I had to guess. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, his work with Assange, right? Like that's what really made him
Mhm.
the darling of the sort of post-Occupy Wall Street alt journalism. But now I guess they hate him. They think he's a fascist or something.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that means he's doing his job. So we support Glenn Greenwald.
Yeah, he's like, I mean, he was. It's funny though, because you know how I know he's full of he's has integrity is because Jair Bolsonaro like really hated him, right?
Hmm.
Like legit threatened him. But even he, when he fled Brazil, he like even said, you know what? I think what they're doing to Bolsonaro is crap, and it's part of like the globalist, like international sort
Hmm.
of like politicking. So even like a guy that was like personally vilified by Bolsonaro, and like he had to leave with his husband or whatever. I forget the exact details. But
Is
even he would.
Greenwald's gay? I don't know anything about him. I just learned something new today.
You know he's gay?
I don't keep up with these people's personal lives.
Oh, okay.
It explains why
Yeah.
Anna K likes him now, though. You know,
Yeah.
she likes to flirt with the gays, so that makes sense. Shout out to Anna. We actually want her on the podcast. So I'm not actually.
I want her in the pot. Yeah, but it's
I think it's
funny.
possible. I think
Yeah.
I'm getting closer.
Well, yeah. I mean, she's mutuals with you. I know she's mutuals with
She's
me.
not
So.
mutual with me. She's mutual with Lucas, but she likes a lot of
Okay,
my
there you
tweets.
go. Yeah, yeah.
It's happening. It's this far away.
The only thing I worry about is I remember that I think it was Alice Kashuta said, like, if you have Anna on, prepare for like a bunch of weirdos that will like try to. I would lock your
Listen,
account that
when I
week.
had Alex Kashuta on, I got the most hate comments of my life. All right,
Really?
her boomer followers, dude, I'm sick of them. Her boomer followers of all the guests I've had many guests.
They love me. I don't know
I've
why.
had
What happened?
I've had fucking internet
You've had
trolls. I've had
esoteric Austrian
esoteric, right?
painter fans. Yeah.
The worst, absolute worst of all the fans are by far Kashudas.
Why though? What happened?
Just I got like all kinds of shit. Like, oh, Alex is so smart, but then this podcast host is an idiot. Like, shut up, bro. You came to my website. Get out of my so I found Alex Kashuda before she was even popular. You scrub. She was not even popular yet. She had less followers than I have now. At the time. She had like 8K followers. You're not real yet. And now now she's missed big time, but her followers suck.
Oh man, that's brutal. I love her.
You know what's funny though? Because me and Zero was talking.
Yeah.
Because Zero went on her podcast right around then too. And Grit Cult did too. Because we were talking about her in a group chat and we were like, she's about to blow up. I don't know. I don't really care about this person, but like at the time, because she was, I don't know, she wasn't really doing anything. She was just posting like classical.
I believe I was her second guest ever. Rocco Bascalis was her first. I was her
second. I think Zero and Grit Cult were early guests too.
Yes.
And they told me to add her on the podcast like quick before she gets like out of my pay grade. And that was smart of them because she did get out of my pay grade. She was like a fine enough guest, but like I don't know. I don't like her followers. I'll say that. They're annoying. They're annoying boomers. Get out of my face.
Well, listen, when Alex comes on my podcast, I totally love and respect her fans. The opinions of Versaloon is not the opinions of
Absolutely. I do not represent the opinions of Geo. You guys can, my content is just not for you. I have online schizos, and I'm not trying to like. I mean, a lot of the points she's making, I'm like, I did this already. I'm trying to talk to you about random, I don't know, from the internet.
Yeah, I did. Well, I like you and Lucas's podcast. Maybe I also have him on the show. But but I like the dynamic. Like I think it's similar to me and Prude, but like with you guys, you do have a vibe. I feel like because you cross cut different sections, and some of the stuff he posts is like absolutely wild. Like he really does take posting to an art form. I feel.
Oh yeah. It's helpful because he and I talk anyway, right? We're friends anyway.
Yeah.
So we have the friend vibe is notable. And also we're both kind of like bored of the spheres we were in, and we're trying to like expand and make our own sphere. So we also like actively try to like cultivate our own energy.
Yeah.
Because we're trying to just make our own kind of transcendent version Lucas sphere.
Well, that's the way you do it, I feel. Like I mean, even like for example, like not to put words in his mouth, but like Prudentialist, he was part of like the AA academic agent sphere. He's like, I want to branch out and do my own thing, and I want to talk more about culture because he's a geopolitics guy. So it just, and we're friends anyway. So here's the thing: it's kind of podcasting. I listen, my brain is polluted by this. Everyone knows podcasting is like professional wrestling. Okay.
Oh, bro, actually, this is what I need to talk to you about. I started getting into wrestling again.
Oh, nice.
All the kayfabe stuff, man. The kayfabe is like all the storylines and kayfabe and heel turns and stuff. It's just Twitter. Yeah. I'm like, oh, bro, you got to be a heel. Like I used to be a heel on Twitter, and I'm in my face arc right now. If you can't tell, I had a face turn. I don't know when it happened, but I used to be triggering people constantly.
People hated you, bro.
They used to hated
you.
And I was a heel, and I used to like feel very Ric Flair all the time. And I'm still heel in group chats. I am the quintessential group chat heel. I am Ric Flair to a dime.
Oh man,
everyone hates me, and
you can hate it. I get kicked out of group chats.
I get kicked out of group chats constantly. But I'm in my face arc right now, and I don't know what that's like. I feel like I'm like Seth Rollins right now. I'm like a heel that is too likable. And everyone just wants to sing my song now,
Well, the Japanese example would be Tetsuya Naito when he came.
Yeah,
back.
Naito,
yeah. Uh-huh. It's like he was a rudo, but then it's like you love him so much that he just can piss you off and you like it.
You like it exactly. That's where I'm at now, and like I don't get any hate messages anymore. No one, everyone like on the timeline interacts with me very positively.
Yeah.
No matter
Why
what
did they hate you though? I could never understand that. Was it because like you're interacting with online racists as like a mixed race person?
No one honestly ever brought that up. It was something. It was the women. They thought I was being sexist.
Oh, yes, I remember this. You were like, yeah.
But then I always find it weird because I'm like, I have so many female followers. How am I if I'm sexist, it's in a playful way, and that's why so many girls are responding. If it was like truly sexist, then you guys wouldn't care. You guys would just be like, "Oh, shut up, incel, and block me," and that's not what was
Yeah,
happening.
yeah,
And like increasingly, like because I meet up with a lot of people from Twitter, so every time
yeah.
I meet someone, they'd tell their group chat like, "Oh, Verse is very nice," and then like it just kind of snowballs, and now I
It
can't be
seems
a
everyone from New York City has a Twitter account. I don't know,
oh
like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
yeah.
Everyone from New York City on Twitter has hung out with each other at least once, probably,
I'm in
or
some
like close
ways,
to it.
yeah. Look, one day I will traverse to New York City. It's only 6 hours away from me, so one day
I've
I'll meet up.
definitely,
But
and I mean, also a lot of like I used to do a lot of that too. It's another thing. Me
yeah,
and James, well, James has those a lot of parties from
yeah,
Twitter,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then I would invite a lot of people, and likewise, and so a lot of the crypto and like schizos and the fun and the comedians and all that shit who are in New York City have all like hung out with us, which
Mm.
is why it's also really hard to be a face. I mean, a heel because people know me now, so it's just really hard to
Did you
like.
go to the Milady Maker raves?
Yeah, I've been to Milady raves.
Were
That's
they
my
as were they like the memes? They were like like they were like the ninth circle, or no? That's
No,
just the
no. It's
meme.
like literally a rave. There's like skateboarders and they're playing Jabber or Gabber. Sorry, not Jabber. They're playing Gabber. So like it's like it's like and
Yeah,
people are
it's not like
skateboarding
the
and doing jokes.
memes of like the Milady. Like remember the Milady Maker memes? It's like I just went to the Milady Maker rave, and it's like that picture of like the red grapers skinning alive a
Oh no,
LoJack or
no.
something.
It's literally like a warehouse rave in Brooklyn. Or like a rave in like this in like this like really trendy hipster dime square bar that they all hang out in.
Yeah, yeah.
At
Well, we'll get
what's
to
it
the
called?
Dimes
Bella not
for
what's it called? I
um.
don't know. Everyone smokes cigarettes inside and pretends like it's 1995. That place. You know what I'm
Yeah,
talking about. You know what I'm talking about. I can't remember the name of the place.
it's
Bella
like a
Chow. Bella
yeah,
Chow.
yeah, it's like a
They all hang
Bristol
out.
rave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they go have raves at Bella Chow.
Oh man, that's see. I gotta get into this, man. Like I'm lucky because nobody in like the only Leafs that have Twitter are like insufferable libs that are like boomers for some reason. Nobody in Canada
Mm-hmm.
likes Twitter, thank God, because
The
they're all
Toronto, there's some Toronto people. I keep running into
yeah,
Canadians in
yeah. I think
Toronto. That's
Toronto
right.
there's probably crypto people, but yeah. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but it's funny like these online ecologies how they manage to like grow like communities like you were talking about like you were one of the first people to interview online schizos. Like I remember the one thing I will give Break the Rules is that we kind of were like also one of the first that was like Twitter but live stream.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So the dynamic, of course, is always hit or miss because people that primarily are posters, when you take them out of that environment and you put them on
Mm-hmm.
to a podcast, sometimes it does like a lot of times
It
it
doesn't
doesn't
always
work.
transfer. Not everyone's like actually a charismatic speaker.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But then it's always like a game of like trying to like suss out their actual like like the the meat of their content, but in a live stream format sometimes does not work. I
Yeah.
learned this from hard
It was
experience.
chaotic. It
Yeah,
was chaotic. You never know what you're gonna get. Yeah, and also you got Lev would constantly pick just people like who are just so diametrically opposed, not just like
yeah,
in opinions, but like in vibe.
and
Like I
vibe.
just
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
like, why did you pick these two people of all the people?
yeah.
This
I
is just
know.
not. I don't know what the hell you thought was gonna happen here, but it's not even that they're gonna argue. It's just like I don't know how the vibes are gonna mesh. So why would you pick these people? Um,
Exactly. The vibes were off.
You
Yeah,
gotta have vibes. Not everyone can read vibes. This is actually why I like Lucas because Lucas is like very, very, very competent at reading vibes,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that is hard to. You can't just make that. You can't just like make that in the lab.
It seems like the vibe discourse is like that, like during the pandemic era till now. Like it seems I mean, people have tried to make like there was that the one compact article about it, the vibe shift, but it seems like there's like a weird mysticism or new age metaphysics to it. Like it seems like we're in the age of vibes for a lot of reasons. And like maybe
Mm-hmm.
you could comment on like why is the vibes like among well, I mean, we're just old millennial men, but like the Zoomers seem to feel the vibes. Like there's something in
I mean, vibes
crypto.
have always been a real thing. It's just that,
Yeah.
um, well, it's always been a real thing. It's just that people. I feel like we were a lot more reductionist, like culturally, like
Mm,
even like 10 years ago. Like acknowledging vibes was like weird voodoo, like, and you just couldn't do that.
yeah.
Vibes have always been like people used to, vibes has always been a thing. It's just that we were reductionists, and then post truth internet era,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the Zoomers are okay with like reduction, like non-reductionist, like super ephemeral. Like they're okay with astrology. They like genuinely believe astrology. They genuinely are about vibes.
Yeah.
They're like very proactively about like all that woo. That's like they're like there's no irony involved in there. That is
Yeah.
true 100%. Like they're pro tarot, they're pro astrology. That is not an irony thing. There's because like what's the difference, right? When you're in a post-truth society, what's the difference? Any framework that works, it works. They don't really care
Yeah.
if it's like scientific. Science is cringing, whatever. Anyway, you know, that science is over. Science is dead. It's so cringe.
Thank God. You
I,
know,
I
it.
like I like
Yeah.
science. Like I obviously link a lot of articles, research studies in my articles and stuff, but it's fucking over.
It's thank God. I mean, we lived through. I mean, I lived through the cringe, like super ironic millennial, like new atheist John
Mm-hmm.
Stewart era, and like seems that Zoomers they don't have that. They don't have the same impulse towards irony that millennials do. I guess because millennials,
Ruined it.
yeah,
Irony's done. New sincerity. I mean, what do you call what's this? DFW was
yeah,
started
nuisance.
that. New
Yeah,
sincerity is the reason why. There's a reason why he figured that in the '90s. Like it's like irony's done. You don't need that. That's the best book of all. Well, not the best book of all time, but it's unironically one of my favorite books ever. Is
Infinite
Infinite
Jest.
Jest. It goes
Oh
hard,
man.
and if you haven't read it, you have to read it. It's actually not a hard read. Well, it's not a hard read. It's just long.
The footnotes apparently makes it the hard read, but yeah.
No, the footnotes are great. They're like hilarious. Like the footnotes are just part of the story. You just gotta like, but you should be reading the footnotes. By the way, the story sucks without that. I don't know how. Like I
Yeah,
don't know how anyone listens to the audiobook. It just doesn't work as an audiobook because they don't have that. Like a lot of the
man.
stories told, a lot of the funniest bits in the whole book are told in the footnotes, and it's like a chapter length footnote story about like kids getting I don't know how to explain it. Kids like trying to do this game where they jump over railroad tracks and then they end up in wheelchairs. I
Oh
don't know.
my
It's
God.
just, but like, and then those wheelchair people become assassins later. Like, I don't know. It's funny. It's a funny book. It's
Man.
a very easy
Yeah.
read. It's just a very long read, and you have to have attention span. But the whole point of the book is that you don't have the attention span, so it's like a meta discourse. It's great.
Why do Tumblr and like Reddit, like primarily, let's face it, like women book reviewers, like Jenny Nichols type people, why do they hate it? Just they think it's like
They haven't
4chan
read it
install lit.
because they haven't read it. That's unironically. I guarantee they didn't read a goddamn page of it. They tried to read it, or maybe a page. They probably read a chapter. Then they got like distracted, and then they're like, "Oh, David Foster Wallace is a white male." Shut up! You didn't read the book. I know for a fact. You can tell when someone's read the book. Like
Yeah.
anyone who's read the book, you can tell very very quickly. In fact, and also you can tell from their copy because their copy has a really heavy crease at the
The
beginning of the
spine
footnotes.
crease. Yeah.
At the
Yeah.
beginning of the footnote specifically, because you have to flip back and forth the whole time.
Oh man.
They
It's
didn't
like the
read
red
the
book with Young. You have to keep flipping back to the
exactly. Like
yeah.
you know who read the book very fast, and it's also like your takes on the book are very obvious on who's read it too, because the book is like a comedy. It's very funny. So
It's
anyone
not
who's
incel lit, quote
no,
unquote.
it's hilarious. The whole book is hilarious. The book's about addiction, and it's just like hilarious drug addiction stories, sex addiction stories, media addiction stories, and it's like very fitting for 2022. It's like you should or 2023 or whatever. You should read it. It's like very
It's
our life
2020s our life right now. But
yeah, but it was written in 1995, right? So
man.
like there's unironically parts about it like there's a whole piece about like how everyone started using like essentially everyone starts talking via FaceTime and they start using like avatar like masks over their face like filters, real-time filters
Mm.
because they're like afraid like they start to get like self-conscious but it's like written before this even existed. Like
He knew that back in
yes,
95.
95 or whatever. He's writing about FaceTime and how everyone starts like hiding their faces and start making like
Instagram filters.
yeah, they start using
Yeah.
Instagram filters that make them look pretty, and then they start to have like paranoid attacks when they start to see their real faces. Like it's like really like ahead of its time. There's a reason why the book is like credited as like being a genius book because it is. It's just that
Yeah.
no one's read it. They just like most people haven't read it. Very few people have. It deserves
Yeah.
all the praise it gets. And it's very easy to read. It's just very very long. So you're gonna have a harder time with your attention span than the actual content of the book.
It seems that one criticism I would have is that as much as David Foster Wallace tapped into it, I remember reading this essay by Sam Chris. I know you're not exactly a fan of Sam Chris, if I
I
recall.
don't know who that is. Maybe I do.
You
What's
know,
the
he
essay
was
called?
he was like an irony leftist, but then he got canceled, and then he actually writes good stuff on his. He's on Substack now, but he was part of the whole Chapo affiliated.
Oh yeah, I've never paid
He
any
wrote
attention.
this. He wrote this essay before he got and he didn't even get canceled for like it was just some stupid sexual thing. It wasn't like he didn't do anything like that particularly wrong, if I recall.
Mm-hmm.
Because he, I mean, come on. He wrote this essay where he like compared the world of David Foster Wallace to Bret Easton Ellis, and how like sincerity nowadays won, but it's terrible because now we have like sincere ideologues and the whole like cancel culture brigade. But he was saying like Bret Easton Ellis represents like the sort of biting, cynical, like Gen X millennial irony that we decided was bad. And now we live in this world of sincerity, and it's terrible. And so I
That
don't know.
sounds like a decent take. I never read the article, but I can see that. I mean, I don't even think that DFW would even like not like agree with that either. Honestly,
Yeah, yeah. He even
uh,
said this in the article. Like, it's not that DFW was like the king of this new ethos. He just became that because of people reading him, and yeah,
yeah. I mean, the book. Yeah, I mean, I don't have like as much knowledge of his essays, which is the other thing. Wait, I'm about to sneeze. It's anyway. Sorry, I don't have as much knowledge
not
about
a
his
problem.
essays. Because I've read like This Is Water or whatever, that one, and maybe the Consider the Lobster, or maybe that's an essay, or that's a book. I don't know. I read something excerpt from that, but his Infinite Jest is definitely like a more mature,
Yeah.
like cohesive writing, and that has like there's I don't know, there's like a lot of depth in that book. And this is actually how I bond with Zero H.P. Lovecraft, because he also really likes the book.
I didn't know
Um,
that about CHP.
oh, he loves, yeah,
I know
he
he
likes
likes like
Borges.
Budhas and yeah, yeah. But that's the style of writing I feel was also ambitious because of the fact that like the footnotes and the stories within the stories. It very much was, I think, postmodern in terms of style, but not in terms
Mhm.
of content. If
No,
that
but
makes sense.
consider even Zero's book, right? God Shaped Hole, with the back and
Yeah,
forth stories in the footnotes.
yeah.
That's because of Infinite Jest.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. I like even Borjas, like the way that he would write, like there was other the one that was made in 2000, what was it called? House of Leaves. That was inspired by
That
a
was
lot of
him.
Borjas.
Oh, I was inspired by him. I was like, oh, yeah, I was like,
Yeah, it was yeah. No, House of Leaves is by this was he Polish or
I
he's
don't
got
know. I'll
like
take
a
it.
name, a Slavic name, but he wrote like House of Leaves would be like a direct like descendant of a lot of
Mm-hmm.
Borjas, like paradoxical writing. And it seems like that sort of literature is becoming more like in vogue, I feel, because of a lot of like, I mean, the way that the online reality is, the way that it sort of molds your subjectivity towards the different, like, I mean, you and Lucas were talking about this, the walled gardens of the internet,
Mm-hmm.
how as much as they try to centralize it, I mean, but I guess, I mean, I wanted to go back to crypto, but like let's talk about that article now. You wrote the cancellation of the early internet.
Mm-hmm.
Let me look at it. I actually
I
have
don't
it
remember the
here.
title. I think it was a nihilistic title. Oh, the end of history or something.
Um,
End of
well, there was
everything.
the e-girl one, but there's it's called Eternal September, the end of history and the
Eternal
last take.
September. Yeah,
Yes, Eternal
nice.
September. Yeah, man, I love that, bro.
That's a
But for
great. Yeah.
those who don't understand, like September, Eternal September was when people started to like the internet truly democratized as technology became more affordable. And around, I believe, Web 2.0 is when people like the accessibility of the internet became more prominent. So, but I forget the exact. So go ahead for people that don't
I
know.
think this would have been
Yeah.
Web 1.0. So like the
Oh,
term came from Usenet, right?
yeah.
So I think web, when it like switches to like Web 1.0, that's when like we started doing like www dot blah blah blah. All
Yeah.
right. So around then because of before that point, internet was only people who were like super hardcore programmers,
Yeah.
and then like people at like universities, because they're the only people who had access to it. And then therefore like all these bulletin boards and stuff, they were filled with really intelligent people, because there's like a inherent gatekeeping involved in getting on there to begin with, right?
Yes.
And the term Eternal September came from the fact that every September when school would start, a new um like crop of kids would show up who would be on the internet, and they don't know the internet etiquette at the time because they've never
Yeah.
used it before. So they were like, every September we have to reteach every kid, and the posting quality drops dramatically because they're posting like newbies, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. They
and
don't
then
know the board culture etiquette. Yeah.
exactly. But then eventually when the web hit, the term became Eternal September because there's every day is a new crop of people who have no idea how to post, right? And the quality only gets worse and worse. Um, and they use it now as a more like not in the exact same way. Like for example, Reddit used to use it because like they used to use it to refer to when a community gets too big, and this applies to how most people use it now. When a community gets too big, it like has the same effect, right? When it's a small walled garden, it's a
Yeah.
very insular, and then it's a very small drip feed of new people, and they very quickly learn the rules, etc. But then once it gets too big, it hits critical mass, and then basically all the good conversation is gone. Um, I
Yeah.
would, and this you can see this happen very, very rapidly on Twitter or anywhere else that there's any kind of community. There's like this is why people you end up having to leapfrog from like one community to the other because like
Mm.
crypto's in the space right now where like there's really hard to find anything interesting what people are talking about because it's too big now, right? At first it used to be really intelligent, everyone's building something, this, that, and the other thing. Now it's like your idiot cousin is doing crypto and he thinks he's a genius, right? It's once something gets too big, you know
I
just the
guess we call
quality
it
drops.
poll posting now, where
Poll
it's like
posting, yeah, polls
coal
like that too,
posting.
yeah.
Yeah. Like coal is like,
Oh, coal posting. Oh, gotcha. I
yeah,
thought you
coal
said poll,
posting.
like poll, like 4chan poll.
Oh yeah, 4chan poll's dead. There's full of like there's glowies and then there's shills and there's the
Yeah,
discourse on Paul is not very good, but
basically everything's gone. Everything gets sucked. So my whole point with the thread is like the internet's over. It's really just GG's, homie. It's just to me, and like the increasingly people, not only do they not find good takes, but they start to resent a good like true information.
yeah, they'll attack it. They'll like,
They'll attack it.
this
Yeah.
isn't a meme format, so I don't understand. And it's that's why I wanted to break out of the memes with doing stock photos because I feel like stock photos are like Platonism in a way. And so like instead of like posting, Wojaks and Giga Chads, it's like you know what I mean? Like I wanted an artistic like sort of take on meme posting.
That's why I
Because
use
let's
Dolly. I like
yeah.
Dolly's posting.
Oh man, there you go. Like it's you know what I mean. Like we all do it. I mean, I myself like have posted a lot of coal, but it, I noticed like what you were saying in the article though, and it comes from, of course, like both of us have read like people like Alexander Bard. Like
Mhm.
it comes from the dynamic you were saying of the internet itself and the way that not just centralization, but also when there are like when the algorithms shift in terms of maximizing engagement over content, then you see this happening. Like what's happening right now on Twitter, like things seem pretty dead currently. Like it's
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, when the algorithm is our god, I guess, on the internet. Like the
yeah,
algorithm is like we had a good thing going. Like we kind of all understood Twitter algorithm. We have a new person in charge. He's decided to change it to more Reddit
yeah,
and start to like throttle people if they don't have blue, which I understand from a financial perspective, but it's made it so that everyone feels like they're talking to a void now. Like all of our engagements down, even
yeah,
like your followers don't even see your content, and no one knows the rules anymore. Like I have no idea how things work anymore. Which is it might ultimately pan out, but I have no idea. I can't tell. Um, but yeah, once the algorithm is like really when the algorithm really starts to like take control of content, it just I don't know, you're kind of at its mercy, and then it often chooses content over anything of value, and it becomes really hard to find anything valuable. And increasingly the entire internet is just going to look like that. Like it already
mhm,
basically is compared to anyone who's been on the internet for years. Like if
yeah,
you were on this in 1999 or 2001 or two, it's just we're in a different like it might even not even be the same thing anymore. Like you just I don't know, everything's just kind of bullshit. Everything used to be message board before. You could find a
yeah,
ton of interesting stuff. You couldn't search really well. You had to like actually like explore and find it. Like because search engines weren't good, right? You were asking Jeeves and hoping for the best, right? But so now we have great search. Well, not even great anymore because they also
well
fuck.
that gets manipulated by
Yeah, we can't do
yeah,
anything anymore. We're experiencing like dissolution of the internet, high entropy. We're like like when like the whole thing with the universe is allegedly expanding and then
yes,
everyone's too far away from each other
It's
and they can't.
redshifting.
It's redshifting. Yeah, the universe is
Yeah.
redshifting, and then eventually all the stars are going to get to the point. Every body in the internet's going to get to the point where it's too far away from each other, so that
Mm-hmm.
you can never interact anymore, and everything's going to be beyond the end of event horizon, and then the universal edge is going to hit like absolute zero, right? So that's the whole point of this redshifting theory. I'm saying that we're already in that process for the internet itself, where it's just like it's very hard to find. We'll be connected, maybe like I don't know, but by then we'll be the Borg anyway because of
Yeah.
Neuralink. I don't know. It's all
Well,
over, guys. I'm not trying
it's
to black
over.
pill, but it is kind of over. Now, the best thing you could do is just make your own content. Because if you're
Yeah.
an old head like me, so increasingly, this is my take. Increasingly, reading shit that's not on the internet, reading a lot more books because that's just information that's just going to disappear. Find esoteric books, say the information yourself. Like you can just plagiarize. No one's reading anymore. I don't do that
Yeah.
myself, but I mean, if you synthesize the information and give it back to people in a comprehensible form, that's like might as well be plagiarism anyway. Like read
True.
books, get it, put your filter on it, because like books are just gonna buy physical books too because they're just gonna disappear.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, just read follow your interest and read esoteric weird, and then like synthesize them together and like make more content because that's what we need. We need more interesting content. This is why Substack is cool. Make more videos, make more podcasts. Just be a creator versus just a consumer of information. Because
Yeah, but only pay a few of us for that creation, like
boom,
such as me and you.
yeah,
So
pay
there,
me.
yeah. But no, listen, you can't take listen. They took the fans, they took the marks out of the stands, and they put them in the ring. Okay,
Yes,
they took the lurkers out of the stands, and they put
Tony
them
Khan, you're a mark.
No, but it's true. Like I was thinking about podcasting being like pro wrestling. Like it's like what Jim Cornette said. Not that I like Jim Cornette, but he said like, when you got a really good heel, when the guy's an asshole in real life, then it's like, then he's an amazing heel. Like
Exactly.
MJF is an
MJF
asshole.
is okay. I've been watching MJF interviews nonstop.
Yeah.
I love him, dude. He's the best.
I always said this take that if Tony Khan had the balls and he wasn't like a politically correct pussy and he wanted to make money, what he would do is he would get, I think he already has Dutch Mantel. I think Dutch Mantel is like a road agent. What you do is you take Jack Hager, and you take his character that was like before Trump. He was like the Minuteman Tea Partier. You take him, you make him a Paul Tart again, and you make Dutch Mantel his manager again, but now Dutch Mantel is like a Q boomer. And then
Oh, nice.
then you get him against MJF, and it's like
fun.
money right away. Yeah, it's money. He'll start like quoting Miguel Serrano in the ring. And like
yeah, I want to see. Yeah, MJF's a cool like right now. MJF's like he's like the what's his face? What's that dude who used to get in arguments with why am I fading on all names right now?
Ted DiBiase?
No. It's like he's a conservative pundit. He used to get in conversations with the gay liberal dude, and he was like,
there's so many.
No, but there's that famous video where he's like, and he's like and he calls him like a pansy or whatever.
Oh, William F. Buckley.
Well, yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Buckley.
with Gore Vidal.
Yeah, Gore Vidal, exactly. So like Buckley is like MJF right now. I feel like MJF's just Buckley in the ring.
But he's like a lib version of it. I feel like
he's like what's his face?
He's like JBL in some ways.
JBL, but a little bit less. He's a New York JBL. He's
yeah.
He's his sister has big tits. Why can I not think any names today?
Ben Shapiro.
Ben Shapiro. What? Yeah, all my names are gone today. I'm sorry.
Does he drop does
he says facts don't care about your feelings? He's on interviews and stuff. He says all the
man.
He does like the Jewish. I feel he's channeling Ben
Shapiro
very actively.
I have to watch more AEW. I'm more of like a New Japan guy because like AEW I don't like because of their you know why. But like that like
I don't know because
like the libs, like the lib stuff, but also like the
marquee.
Doing lib stuff? Well, I mean, the whole company's like libtarded, but like 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 a CM Punk, and I mean CM Punk might leave.
He's gone now, but
as much as I really like as much as I'm a move nerd and I do like the indie style, I do notice like the limitations of that type of like jokey, but also like hyper like to to use a quote from Lindy, man, the sort of refinement culture when it comes to like wrestling of like million spots, million moves. I
Yeah,
understand like the storyline
yeah.
is something.
Storyline is
So
what makes it interesting. I mean, like I
yeah.
find I can watch some New Japan, but I can't watch it for like a long period of time. Like I was trying to watch,
Mm.
I was watching Wrestle Kingdom. I watched Kenny Omega versus Osprey.
But see, that one was really good because that was the older Kenny Omega when he had restraint.
No, I
Whereas
watched
AEW,
17, the most recent one.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like with Will
Oh,
Ospreay, it
I see.
worked because like Kenny Omega, they let him do whatever they want in AEW
Mm-hmm.
because he's basically like a part. He's not
Yeah,
like a
he's on
partial owner.
everything. Yeah,
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 yeah.
he's part of
He's like
all
a
the
guy,
whatever. He's a guy.
So that's what I mean. Like, whereas with Gato, he like made Kenny Omega like he muted him to make him more jive with like the New Japan like
I
strong
see.
style. Yeah, yeah.
I
But
mean,
with
I
Will
like
Ospreay,
it.
it was great. The story was amazing. The move with like the turnbuckle, like the way that
Yeah.
they focused on it, like that was amazing, right?
No,
But
they do good stuff. I
yeah,
mean, Japan does great in ring. That's what everyone knows, right? But like, I need the mic skills. I need some
yeah,
like I need
yeah,
the mic. I mean, like AEW, I don't watch very actively. I watch it. I watch like the review of every episode, and I watch the best matches and the
oh
best
yeah,
segments.
yeah.
Usually just MJF or like what's Fear what Saddle Miato. I don't know what the names of the guys are.
Oh,
The Death
Penta,
Triangle,
yeah. Oh
Penta,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Death Triangle,
Penta,
right? Penta and whatever. I like
Penta
those
Zero,
guys.
but he has a number of names. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. I watch some matches and stuff, but like uh I watch a lot of WWE since Vince has been gone, but he's back now, so it's probably ruined and over, I'm sure.
They're they're gonna sell it to the
It was so
Saudis
good.
apparently.
It was so good for like 6 months. Everything was great.
Yeah.
Every segment. And I hope it doesn't change, but I don't trust Vince. It was so
Yeah.
good. We're
They're
about to
freaking out because they want to sell it to the Saudis.
they do.
Apparently.
I don't think that's gonna happen, but they might.
Yeah, probably not.
I just want to see one solid year of just good storytelling. We've had 6 months of good storytelling. It's all about the payoff. I just don't want Vince to fuck. We finally are getting like every stable was actually interesting. All the
Yeah.
concurrent storylines were actually like logical and like went from week to week, and you're like, oh, I can follow this. I want to see what happens next. Like just amazing. Like who would have thought that if you have a long-term storytelling show, you should do some of the long-term storytelling? Who would have thought?
I haven't watched WWE in so many years, but maybe I should go back to it. But then, like, I don't know, like,
If you
because
could,
John Cena ruined it for me. But
yeah. See, no. If you watch 2022, like basically from the second from Cody Rhodes coming back in, I
there
think it
you
was
go.
WrestleMania, from
Yeah,
there through the rest of the year, it's like mwah. Just
man.
every man is just like Cody Rhodes, Hell in a Cell, amazing. All that stuff, chef's kiss. And then Vince leaves because he gets the sexual allegations or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
And
Out
then
of all the
once
things to
the,
cancel him, all things he's done.
the next week, the second Vince was gone, and I mean like I've never seen a switch in my life. All the staples I hated, like let's say like Judgment Day, no one liked Judgment Day before. The second Vince leaves, it's the best thing I've ever seen in my life. Why are they
Oh
so good?
man.
It's so funny. I'm looking forward to it every week. They started pushing Sami Zayn now. Oh, it's Roman is they. In fact, they are so over that they made Roman Reigns get over. Like people,
Man, that's
like
crazy.
how good it is. Like you have to like Vince clearly was up because the second Vince leaves, everyone's like excited for the Roman Reigns storyline because they stopped trying to like make him like this like fake tweener type of thing.
Yeah, he did the Rock again. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
they're
they
trying to make The
wanted
Rock
him.
again. Like, no, now
Yeah.
he's just like the imposing final boss. They have Sami Zayn in there as a tweener. Everyone wants to see Sami Zayn, and they know he's gonna get turned on. And we know it's gonna hurt. It's just amazing. Anyway, I got it. Now that I'm like making my own storylines on Twitter with Lucas
Yeah,
and running
yeah.
psyops, I'm like I gotta watch more wrestling. So how do you make a fake storyline and make people invested?
That's how you do it, though. You got to run the psyops. Like
You
it's
gotta
it's
run the
the same with
psyops.
wrestling. Yeah, the storyline. Like they could even, for example, if they wanted to get political, I guess maybe Triple H he will sense money in it, but they could take like Roman Reigns as like I'm the Trad Cath family man, and Sami Zayn is like the like isn't he like one of these like Occupy Wall Street
Oh no,
leftists?
they got rid of that. They got rid of that.
They did,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, that was because that wasn't working really. So
Oh
all
man,
right. So here's what they did. So Sami Zayn is funny and likable, right?
yeah.
So Sami Zayn has been trying to. So one day Sami Zayn's like part of like essentially like a Roman fanboy, and he's just like, oh,
Mm,
we love what you're doing with the Bloodline. He's like, I just want to like, he's just trying to prove himself to Roman, and and Jay Uso, one of the Usos,
Oh
hates
yeah.
him, right? So like months of just hating him and trying to sabotage him, and it's like you're seeing Sammy win over everyone else, but not Jay. Eventually, in like a pay-per-view, he betrays the right person. Jay likes him, and now he's like in there, and he's like considered an honorary Uso, and like the crowd's chanting like Sammy Uso, Uso, like they like want him to be an Uso, and he has a shirt that says honorary Us. So he's like
Oh
a
man.
fanboy, and but Bill knows what's like is gonna happen. Is like he's gonna get turned on. But right now they have the Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens storyline because
Well,
Kevin's like,
that's yeah, because they
I'm
want
your
to have
longtime
the
friend.
indie, yeah, because like
Yes,
they're doing the indie revival thing because they were like longtime rivals and friends in Ring of Honor
exactly.
back
So
in the
they're doing
day,
that
and in
storyline.
CZW, yeah.
And Kevin is like, bro, they hate you. They're gonna turn on you. And he's like, you don't know anything, bro. You're always doing this. And so like right now they're at the point where it's like because Royal Rumble's coming, right?
Okay, yeah,
So
yeah.
they just had Sammy turn on Kevin like as a friend. They had like a match like last week or whatever. And Royal Rumble's gonna happen. It's Kevin versus Roman, and they're
Yeah,
setting up
with
the
Royal Rumble, they usually have the betrayals like in the
yes,
ring.
yes.
Yeah,
So we
yeah.
know that the Usos betraying Sammy's coming. So
Oh man.
they're building it up very well. Every week it's like the next logical progression. It's very funny because Sami Zayn's hilarious. They got rid of all that occupy. It's just funny.
Free
And
Palestine wearing
yeah, all
the
that's
scarf.
gone. He's
Yeah.
not just like Castro anymore. He just wears he just wants to be liked by the bloodline. And the bloodline are like they like him, but you can just see it's just like
Man, that's crazy.
yeah, they're laying the seeds of like
Because
they're about
the
to get
Royal
turned on.
Rumble for in the 2010s, the Royal Rumble was like went
Trash.
so downhill.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no. This is the first time I've been excited about the Royal Rumble basically ever. I hope that Vince doesn't change anything because there's right now there's only two options of who can win. I mean three, I guess. The Rock might
Well,
come back and he could win, but there's two. There's Sami Zayn because they've been setting this up all year, and that's what
yeah.
everyone wants. Or the other acceptable one that everyone also wants is Cody Rhodes coming
Oh
back
yeah.
from injury at 27 and winning, and then going to wrestle. Either one's acceptable, and everyone just wants to see which one happened. Or the Rock comes back. People are okay with any three of them happening.
Do they have the budget to bring The Rock back again?
Yeah, they do. They want to do the Rock Roman
Okay, that makes sense.
before
Yeah.
Roman retires because he's like
Yeah.
already halftime.
You
Like,
know what's funny though? Because I remember like CM Punk had like those criticisms of like the WWE bringing The Rock back and like trying to have the like attitude or nostalgia. But the more as CM Punk becomes cringe, the more
mhm.
base WWE becomes.
Yeah,
It's
like
like,
CM Punk listen, I've never been a fan of him. I'm gonna be
me
honest. I
neither.
just
Not even when he
never
was in the
have.
Indies, bro.
I didn't like
He's
him then. I didn't like him
yeah.
in WWE. I never saw the appeal. I like the MJF CM Punk storyline. That's great. That dog collar match, oh, shit, that was absolutely amazing. But it's because I hated MJF more than I hated Punk, right? Because
Oh
MJF is
man.
such a good heel that he
Yeah.
makes that work, right? And him quoting all of CM Punk's lines from the Indies, great. That's great storytelling. But it only works because MJF is a once in a generation talent. I don't know if
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know if he did that with anyone else that would matter because CM Punk's kind of overrated, and by kind of I mean very.
And he really like destroyed his stock among the fans of even like AEW. But
Yeah,
like, but because like you know, there was like he's like the coming out with like the protect trans kids shirt and the
yeah. I just don't get it.
notorious Ruth Bader Ginsburg stuff. And
Yeah, I don't know what people saw.
yeah,
I don't see
yeah,
why everyone's like all the wrestling fans are like, CM Punk. No, bro,
in
you're a
ring,
fuck mark, dude.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
a
But even in ring, though, like I always say, if you want to watch a good CM Punk match, just go and watch an old Kenta match from Pro Wrestling Noah because that's where he
Mhm.
like stole everything from. He
Yeah,
stole
dude.
from Kenta.
CM Punk's a
Yeah,
mark. It's MGF boy. I also love heels. I want the
yeah,
heels.
yeah.
I don't care about any.
I
I
think,
never care about the face. It's very
yeah,
rare unless
yeah.
it's Seth Rollins, who I love because he's the
I
new
think
shot.
it's
He's
because
becoming.
MJF, like when it comes to heel work, MJF makes you want to hate him or you'll watch every week. Whereas
Oh
like
yeah,
CM
yeah.
Punk, when he's a heel, it's always like this annoying, like, I deserve to be on top. It's like nobody likes that. Whereas
Exactly.
MJF,
Yeah.
it's like, I'm better than you. I'm gonna
And
tell
you
you why I'm
yell it.
better than you. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You want that. You want like a piece of shit you want to see fail, and like that's what makes him like a great heel,
Yeah.
and
Who
that's
are the
what like
top who are the top heels on Twitter right now? Oh,
with
sorry, I cut
oh,
you
oh
off.
no no that's a great no great segue.
Yeah.
Top heels on Twitter. Elon's a heel for most people.
Oh yeah.
Actually, he's actually probably got a heel from everyone at this point. Probably the biggest heel.
Yeah.
Like I'm even turning on Elon, and like Rune is turned on Elon. Everyone's
God.
So Elon's a big heel. Everyone wants all those track out e-girls, but like
Oh yeah.
Marie though doesn't really
Mari.
count because she's like I tried to be a heel.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
like doing it on purpose. I don't know if she's not like a accidental heel, you know?
I feel like the way she bait posts so much that you don't even
Well,
know.
because Lucas taught her how to
Yeah.
be a heel is what happened, and then now he's made it a monster. He's
Oh
created the
my
monster.
God.
All of our Marie episodes go really well, go like very popular as Lucas and I and Marie talk about the creation of the Marie monster. But she's even taking it further than we anticipated.
Oh my
Um,
God.
yeah, I miss being a heel. I have to like do it in group chats because now I'm too liked on the timeline. It sucks. I'm a natural heel. I don't want to be face. That's not who I am.
Oh man.
I'm like Seth Rollins, where I just have somehow become a likable tweener.
You have to start misogyny posting again. Like that's like Bill,
But
like
it's
Billy
not even.
Proud, my boy. He's like good at that. Like he's
It won't even work
managed
though
to.
because I don't even mean it anymore. I'm just like,
Yeah.
it's
True.
done. That bit's done. I need a new way to upset everyone.
Yeah.
So
You
we'll
you
see.
can't tap into the old true cell energy
You
again.
can't.
It's
You can't do
yeah.
it. And
Oh my
yeah, it
God.
just won't land. Like especially, yeah, it just won't land. Right. Um. So I need to have a new. I need to find a new way to do it. But I just gotta accept my face arc. That's all it is.
I try, but it just doesn't come as authentic to me with like
You're a natural
actual.
face, bro. You don't have to fight it.
Yeah.
You're a
Yeah.
natural born face. You're a baby. You're the baby face of the company. You've been
The way meat.
yeah. You're what's his face? What's his name? Kevin Keith the black guy.
Keith Lee.
Keith Lee. You know,
Oh my God.
you're a Keith Lee. You're just too likable. You
Now
know?
people are gonna post the black cell, that that meme.
That's all it is.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know?
I can't misogyny post with all of my fury. I can't like do that.
No,
I
it doesn't work.
because it comes off as inauthentic. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
but it's funny to go back to like your essay though. Um, like it is funny how there was when I read your essay, I also I watched that one segment, the recent episode with you and Lucas, and I wanted to get your take on it because Lucas was developing an idea about the Elon takeover of Twitter, which we all thought was going to be the liberation of all of us, that
Mm-hmm.
it was going to be fair and transparent and open, and maybe moderation in terms of people getting banned. I still see people getting banned, but I do see people coming back. But he had this idea that because Elon is a redditor at heart and he wants to like mid max, they're mid maxing the timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is like coal, meme, big engagement, viral formula tweet.
Yeah.
I noticed that like when you were talking about how locking your account increases engagement.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel that Twitter could sort of like by necessity devolve into like posters, essentially having like these walled gardens? Like let's say it would be like Telegram on the timeline where
Yeah, that's how I
everyone's
feel like it's gonna
locked.
be. I
Yeah.
mean, that's also funny enough. So not only do I feel like that's going to be out of pragmatic reasons, that's also funny
Mm,
enough from Bard too. Like he always talked about, and I. What's funny with Bard is like it happens, but when it happens, it's never what I don't know. It's never what I thought it was going to look like.
mm,
He always talked about like the netocratic pyramid and how like the netocrats will recede further and further away, and you have
right.
to like
Right.
kind of like pass like increasingly more like complicated ways to like sorting to get deeper into the pyramids.
Yeah.
Um, but like in practice, it ends up being Elon's making the timeline Reddit. So I mean, obviously, getting invited to group chats is kind of like a netocratic thing, pyramid
Yes.
thing, whatever. But like now he's made it Reddit. So now it's like, okay, are you in the private? Are you in all the good private accounts that can't get engagement if they're on public, right?
Yeah. Do you have the Landshark Mutual?
Yeah. Do you have the Landshark Mutual? Are
He
you
was a
able to?
pioneer of that, by the
He
way,
is a
right?
pioneer. Yeah, he literally is. Like, all right, so that's why I made that tweet the other day. Like, there's 50K accounts that you've never heard of, private, and they have like the best content on the website, and it's true. I mean, increasingly, I'm finding like 100K accounts that are private. It's just like,
Yeah.
yeah, it just there's no engagement whatsoever public, and like, or if there is, it's like your followers don't even see you in public anymore,
That's
which is
true.
insane. There's not even like okay, cool, you don't want to push me to other people, but it's like worse than being like when we used to be shadow banned before. You get worse engagement now, public,
It's like
not shadow
normies
banned.
and Twitter wouldn't see you, but your fans would. Your
Yeah,
followers.
exactly. Like when you were
Yeah.
shadow banned before, like your fans would see you. Now it's like you're being public, not shadow banned, is a shadow ban. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm on public now because I do need like, unfortunately, I need to like make things grow, but it is just weird. Like nothing good catches on anymore. It's just,
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, I put private on once a week to shill my stuff so my followers can actually see that there's stuff coming out.
Maybe I should do that. I
Yeah,
should do
you're
that.
at least at the very least your followers will see it, which is
Yeah.
why I
Yeah.
started. And they don't really nerf links to other stuff in private.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Like, or when you retweet stuff in private, it's not like going to be nerfed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I mean. Like the walled garden idea, like it's essentially like Telegram, where you have to
Mm-hmm.
like seek out people. You know, I mean, I
Exactly.
get, I like the numbers in Telegram because it does reflect like an organic like growth, but it's very hard to get like unless you're guys who are like uber canceled that have huge followings on Telegram, like Keith Woods or Eric Stryker, or like those, you know what I mean? Like it's
Mm-hmm.
very hard to like get numbers on Telegram. You need people to boost you, but like you have to like
Yeah.
guide your audience to it.
Yeah, I mean, like, you have to
Yeah,
use Twitter. Twitter is not great for a lot of things. It's weird
yeah,
because it's good for like making memes and getting grassroots attention when you have no clout, but it's
yeah,
also really bad for like anything else, like for shilling your stuff. You have to kind of use it as a content funnel and just kind of like just constantly berate people with like links and stuff.
yeah.
Like you
Here's
have
my
to do
YouTube channel. Here's my Patreon.
yeah,
Here's
but you have to do
yeah,
it without getting boring because then you're gonna get nerfed. So it's weird. You have to like make people remember that you have other content.
yeah. Like
And
Delicious Tacos is good with that because he
mm,
memes his content to where it's interesting. Like he knew the formula of doing it. Like
yeah, and
it's
like
yeah,
I'm even trying to expand to TikTok, which everyone I know hates TikTok, but that's why I'm joining it because that's how you got to get to the platform before everyone likes it. So me and Lucas are working on TikTok. A few people are good at it. Like surprisingly, Brittany Venti's really good at TikTok,
yeah.
which you might expect, but
Well, I mean,
she's
that's just her. That's because of
she's also
her.
good. Yeah, 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 we know.
Yeah.
Uh, but like Brittany, James is getting better at it. I'm trying to work on it now. So, but I think TikTok will be the TikTok's bad for selling stuff, but it might be
Yeah.
good for getting people to like watch your stuff, and then you can funnel. It's just making like a web of links to your other shit. Only real way to do it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. But like, that's what I mean. I like his default's like, you should go on TikTok. I go, what am I going to do on TikTok? Like,
You honestly
really?
might do well on TikTok. You know, I
Really?
know everyone shows the dancing girls, but that's not like most of TikTok. That's just like that's like the viral tweet that happens in Twitter, right? Like that
Hmm.
account no one cares about. It's just like the Coomers follow the account, but that's about it. Like TikTok very quickly starts to splinter into like weird niches. Like I have like most of my timeline's like really strange that I like it just knows that I want to watch. Like
Man.
pictures of like videos of cats jumping and falling into water for some reason. I have a lot of those videos. Evidently, I like that. I don't know, but like you can get into a weird niche and get like a huge following for no reason.
Man. Maybe I'll put infographics or something. I'll
Yeah,
like,
just talking in front of the thing, like because the Zoomer is like the domestic cozy, so they don't like it look overproduced. So like if you have
yeah.
something that's like fairly underproduced, like just talking about some topic, like or just whatever, just being interesting. It's like if you could do a podcast level of interesting in 1 minute, or 3 minutes now, I guess. That's what you
Man.
can. So it's like a tweet version of a podcast, and the Zoomers love that.
Man. Maybe I should get on TikTok.
No, I think it
That'd
actually
be
has high
interesting.
leverage. It's just that I haven't figured it out because it's not the
Yeah.
same as anything else.
Yeah, because like default writes about it a lot, and she like has a pretty good understanding of it. She like devotes like hours of her day to TikTok, and I'm like,
You really,
how?
yeah, she's
Yeah,
smart to do that because that's gonna be more high leverage for her long term. That's how you like because also we have to consider age demographics, right? A lot of us are using stuff that other millennials like, right? Like
yeah,
so Twitter is
very,
millennials and older. Like
yeah,
there's some Zoomers, but they don't there's YouTube is everyone, but like YouTube is hard to like grow on if you aren't like kids friendly,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So like the only real ways to like get your content out to like a younger generation, who's what you would need if you want any longevity. You
Mm,
want people younger than you. You need TikTok or Twitch, and unless you're, I mean, like, and a lot of people are streaming and gaming and stuff, and that's good, and like you can funnel people that way,
oh yeah,
and doing variety streams. But like if you're not doing that, the other way to do it is TikTok. This is why Andrew Tate is a household name. He
yeah,
was just one of us, and now everyone knows who he is because he got on TikTok and he blew up for the Zoomers.
man, yeah, it's
Mhm.
true. But is he one of us? Like what? Like do you have
I mean, he
your
started on. I mean, like,
well
he's not a
the
CIA.
manosphere? Yeah.
Yeah, he started on the Manosphere, but he was like adjacent. Like
Right.
I've run into him on the timeline before, or like in group chat, shit like that. Right. He was close to. He was like adjacent to Lambros types.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I think like Frazzle Dazzle knew him or something like that.
Mm. You know what's
Um,
funny? My buddy Ryan Stone, like, um, Andrew Tate, like hates him for some reason, but they were both like there was like an intra manosphere competition thing.
yeah, I mean, like
So yeah,
yeah, people. He wasn't like a household name. He wasn't famous, right?
no,
But it was TikTok. TikTok blew him up. I mean, he's
yeah,
interesting. Also not just TikTok. A few of those videos got on was Your Mom's House from Tom Segura.
okay,
They were
yeah,
memeing him for like a
yeah,
year during the pandemic.
man,
The water video and like it was like he was playing Andrew Tate every single episode because he found it hilarious.
yeah, like all those like the Tateisms of like, where's your what color's your Bugatti,
Yeah.
Brokies, like yeah,
And so
yeah,
they didn't know who he was. They didn't know he was from Twitter. And I found that arc hilarious because I was like, oh, that's the guy from Twitter. But they were just like, oh, this is hilarious. And they would just play his clips constantly. And that also, of course, helps because they had 500,000 at the time and shit like
yeah.
that.
Oh man, that's crazy. Like that's what I mean. Like I want to believe in the heaven site. I wanted to believe in Musk. I wanted to believe in the renaissance of content, but it seems like we trusted
No.
a redditor to do this, and it wasn't
Yeah, we
good.
trusted the Redditor. That's the problem. We I knew it would be better than whatever with Paraga, right? It's better than
Yeah,
Paraga
I
because
know
you can
people aren't
actually.
getting banned every week. Put
Yeah,
it
you're not
that
getting
way.
banned for nothing, right? So that
Yeah,
is better. But then we get the flip side, which is that it's Reddit now. So
yeah.
you can't win. You need like a real bait. There's no Jack was our true or the one
Jack
true.
was merciful to us
Yeah, he's a
in
merciful leader.
hindsight.
He's a benevolent leader, but he got too big for his britches, and now he's running.
Yeah,
So we lost our base mensch,
yeah.
and
I believe
I almost
yeah.
thought that Elon wasn't going to be King Reddit. I don't know why. I had faith. I was like, we're so close. He's been hiding. He's been pretending to be
He
Reddit this whole
posts like
time.
BoomerCon memes
Yeah, I
about
was like,
like
maybe he's just trying to.
pronouns and yeah.
Oh, it's over. It's so
It's
over.
over.
So anyway, even Lucas is like, I don't even want to post anymore. It's done. Let's just
Oh
build
my
our
god.
podcast. We're trying to. Everything's about building because we got to make the Virgin Lucas sphere, make
Yeah.
our telegrams, make our own enclave, and then we can just make content. We got cameras now. We're gonna start making video.
Oh my
Just
god.
we just gotta expand.
The same with me, man. Like I noticed like it's not fun to tweet anymore. Like even threads or it's all about like long form. It's all about podcasts. It's a big that's
Yeah,
real
I
meaningful
like
content.
exactly. I want to make like a joke on Twitter, and then I want to make a Substack because also you get paid for Substack. People forget.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't care. I mean when you make an article on Substack, and even if you get less views, you get some subs on it. You're like, oh man, this was so worth it. I'm glad I took that hour and a half or whatever to write that.
Yeah, like even my artwork. I mean, my artwork will still do well on Twitter because like Instagram is dead pretty much. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I still kind of try to post. Maybe this year I'll post more, but like I my account got hacked at like almost 2K followers. I'm like, oh man,
Mm.
that was a big blow. Um, but you know, I mean, Instagram is I notice is dying like
Oh
most
yeah,
Facebook things. Yeah.
everything's dead, dude. The internet's over, homie. It's like never gonna go away, but it's like it's just not the same as it was.
Yeah.
But you have to
Totally.
continue to find where there's some semblance of being discovered, and there's only a few places that you could still be discovered, right?
I think
So
Substack will be one of them, and maybe
yeah, I
Twitter.
think Substack is. I think it's very, at least right now, it's very high leverage, and I think if you have writing or podcast, um, excuse me, inclinations, then Substack, and I'm sure they're gonna add more video stuff, and I'm sure that
Yeah.
it'll be like a all encompassing media platform.
I just
So
have to find a way to translate that into art sales as well as podcasts, but you know, that'll be some
I'm sure there's a you can do you can sell merch on Substack, can't you?
I think maybe. Like I
Either
have a
way,
seller's website I neglect. Actually, it's a Square App website.
yeah, I'm sure
Um
at the very least it can be integrated or
yeah.
linked to. So
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, what I would do is like I think I wanted to do a book with probably with Lomez about like my artwork, but also essays. What I could do is like transpose the art into like mini essays about the art. Maybe I could do something like that, but
yeah,
that
make books.
requires
People like
effort.
books. So,
Yeah,
hey, listen, those coffee table books sell hella money. There's a
Oh
reason why
yeah.
people make coffee table books, because it works.
Yeah, man. That's why Passage Price sold out, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's, like, yeah, it was $400 too, but it sold. Like, um, but that's another thing. Let's transition to the e-girl thing, and then
What e-girl thing?
maybe,
Oh, e-girl Catholic thing.
well, the e-girl Catholic thing, but you had an article about the trad e-girl.
Oh, the
Why?
balayage,
Yeah, yeah.
balayage,
So for those who don't know, what is
balayage.
the Balia thing? Like, what?
But
Explain that.
I don't know why I can't say the word anymore.
Balaya,
Balage,
yeah.
whatever. It's French. That's just like, so I knew that was going to take off, by the way, because I knew that tweet was going to take off, because I knew the girls would be like, why don't you know what a balayage is? I just knew that they were going to comment on that.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's that video of the girl making the Lebanese dish and taking
It
it
was like
out.
an egg bread thing.
Yeah, egg, bread, cheese, like whatever. Taking it out of the oven, looking hot, and and then smiling into the camera, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, me and who?" And I was like, I was like, listen, I understand why, and I saw someone posted about like, oh, and I was just like, you're falling for a bait, right? And I'm like, if you start to look at this beyond more than 12 seconds,
Yeah.
you start to realize there's a lot of inconsistencies in this video, right? And I like tried to lay them out for them, and a lot of people still, it took a while, created controversy because they like didn't notice it. But then like, if I remember correctly, one, she has a balayage, which is like a type of hairstyle that like
Mhm.
is very trendy, and it's not a hairstyle that a trad wife would have. It's just not like, it's like a kind of like, I go out and do stuff younger
Is
hairstyle.
it like the like streaky, like curly hair?
Yeah,
Like, what is
no, it's
the
like a
name?
streaky blonde thing. It means balayage means swept in French. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
like the fading blonde, like black roots into blonde thing.
It's not exactly like bimbo core, but it's like,
No, yeah, but it's expensive. It's an expensive hairstyle that needs to get done regularly,
mm.
and you only do that if you're going out. You're not like at home. No one's going to see it. Why would you spend $500 for a balayage and no one see it?
Oh, I
So
see. Yeah.
it's like a type of hairstyle that just a trad person just wouldn't have. It just, there's no reason to do that. Um, So that is
Yeah.
why I knew it would take off, because it's an observation that no male is going to make. And I knew the women are going to be like, why do you even know? One, why do you know what that is? And two, you're kind of right for that, because if every girl who ever has one is that's not the type of person she is. So I'm like, she's probably, and also she's making videos of her cooking, and
Yeah.
people who cook a lot who are like trad and like cook a lot, they don't have time to make videos of their cooking.
Yeah. This is pornography, and
Yeah, it's very like,
yeah.
it's staged. And if you look in the background of the video, there's like, the house is in disarray, and like the furniture. If you look at the behind of it, you're like, what is this place that they're in? It's just like,
Yeah.
it looks like a studio, but it's not a studio. It's like chaos everywhere. It's ridiculous, right? So I'm like, there's a million incongruencies in this video. This is not trad. I know it feels trad because it's like aiming to grab your emotional whatever, but it's
Investment
pornography.
into like a
Yeah.
trad woman cooking for you. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like, it's emotional pornography. It's a wholesome type of pornography. It's it's like, it's fake, right? And it took
Yeah.
a while. I had to like try to show everyone all this stuff in the thread, and then I posted like the what I thought the inverse of that meme would have been, which is like a hot guy cutting wood, and all the girls were like, "Oh my god!" And like when I did the inverse, almost everyone was like, "Oh, I see." It's
Yeah.
like the occupational porn. It's like he's not actually naked. He's just cutting wood, which is a job, right? There's
Yeah.
lumberjacks, but like it's made to like make you like fantasize about
It's like Hallmark
your
movies.
yeah, it's like fantasizing about your life with the person in the video, right? You're
Yeah.
fantasizing about having a cute wife who's making you nice dinners and is cute and wears an apron and whatever. And like, oh, that's the other thing. She closed the oven with her butt. And that's
Yeah.
not doable if you actually cooked in that oven because it's hot. Her ass touched the hot part, like the metal grating. So that's the first thing that clued me off.
It's
I
the
was like,
fantasy. It's like the sort of
yes.
pinup girl,
Exactly. So
50s.
so
Yeah.
she's, and also that's like not a natural way to close it, right? Your natural, like, it's like either use your hands or your feet. Like the
Yeah.
reason why she did that is because it's like in movies. It's like a fantasy from like sitcoms. You
Yeah.
like bump it
Yeah.
with your ass like 50s pinup, right? So
Yeah. Maybe
all
in
of
the
it's
refrigerator
fake.
you could do that, but
You could do
not
that with a
like,
refrigerator or a
yeah.
door, but not an oven because you're literally gonna burn your ass if it literally came out of the oven. So
I always
it's
remember those
staged.
Drake memes, but it was like Richard Spencer. Like, Richard Spencer's the type of dude to close the fridge with his hips.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
It's all staged. Every frame of that thing is staged, right? It's not
Yeah.
real. She's not real. And it's pornographic in the same exact way, but it's not a sexual porn. It's like a few degrees removed from sexuality.
If she was naked in the apron, like a lot of those porn shoots, it would be like that. But
Yeah, it's like, yeah,
yeah,
exactly. It's
a
almost
few
like
degrees
literally,
removed. Yeah.
it's almost literally what a porn scenario would be, just like before the porn starts, is what that video is.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's
It's like
like,
a Brazzers setup.
yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
segment like at the beginning, and then they would start. Oh my god, like the whatever. It's like that,
Yeah.
and like when they do it with the lumberjack, it's more obvious because like the guys are like aren't blinded by the horny. So
Yeah.
when I put
Yeah.
the lumberjack, even the girls too, they're like, oh yeah, this is hot. I see you make it's the
Making
male
a
version.
comparison, the male gaze.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I made the thread in long form. I mean not the thread, the piece in long form. And I don't remember what I said in it, but it's all the same. That's the
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. That's also feeds into the lumber soy meme, like
Yeah,
that, like
exactly.
wholesome. Yeah. Like
Wholesome form of pornography. Like
yeah.
pornography, everything is pornographic these
Mech and
days.
wholesome racial, multiracial working class type.
Yeah,
Well, that's a
yeah.
different thing, but yeah.
Everything's trying to. Yeah, I mean, it's all. I mean, it's Baudrillard, right? It's like simulacra and simulation. It's
Hyper reality.
hyper
Yeah.
reality. Yeah, everything's like a hyper reality, and like they don't even know. Like she doesn't. I don't even think she knows that she's doing that. Like I don't think she realizes she's
No,
like
probably not.
mimicking a fantasy from like porn and sitcoms. And
She probably just thinks it's Instagrammable. It's like the
yeah,
millennial grammable aesthetic,
like
influencer.
it's kind of like when people like talk to you in like a elevator, like they're in the office and they like
Yeah.
speak like a sitcom. It's like you don't like people like reality's mimicking fiction, and it's kind of indecipherable. And
Indistinguishable between the two. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, exactly. It's indistinguishable, and so you can't really parse it from each other. And that's kind of what the whole point is. That oh, that's right. It was the porniflation of everything. Everything
Yeah.
kind of becoming pornographic and hyper real. And that was really the point I was making. I was kind of just being incendiary, though.
And do you think that the Catholic e-girl summit, that was sort of like revealing of like the trad cath woman, like the trad
No.
larper cottage, or no? You think it's
Well,
something
maybe
else?
LARP. I mean, it's definitely a LARP, right? Like
Yeah.
I know Marie was just trying to. Marie's actually Catholic, and I think Pariah, ironically, is.
Well, that's
Yeah,
debate. But yeah.
yeah, but like I think that Pariah is an organ player at the church that they were at.
Oh yeah. 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 True.
But then like
Pride doesn't like me anymore because
I don't even know Pariah. I just know
I
that.
quoted like Jack and Pry unfollowed me because I quoted the tweet that Zero HP Lovecraft had about her or him or whatever.
Apparently, Pariah goes by him, according allegedly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. But
I
anyway,
just quoted with a meme. I said it was the Bobby Buckalaw. We can't have him in a social club anymore, you know. And so I
mhm.
know Jack unfollowed me, and it's I don't know. I guess like the Dime Square crowd. Like I wanted to get your take on the whole Dime Square thing. A lot of people on my sector of things they think it's like the infiltration of the right wing. But before we get to that, like about the trad girl thing, I noticed that it seems like trad is like becoming a specter now, where there is actual like trad larpers, but it's almost like to say like this is the pornography that trads want. Like this is like their
There is
LARP
no. First off,
fantasy.
there's no trads. Trads are
Yeah,
gone.
there's no
You're
trad.
not.
Yeah,
There never were trads. I just
yeah,
want to tell people that from the beginning. All of trad is pornography. It never existed. There are trads in real life, but they're not posting whatever
yeah,
online. That's not real. Like the trad person is like actually at home, not on Twitter, not do like almost. I would say. I would say so. I don't know. I'm not gonna do percentages, but I'd say a very large quantity of the trad posting, if it's done
right.
by a woman, is like a STEM woman who's doing like a bait, like a intellectual baiting of like the type of guy
Can I
who
find a
would
good
find.
husband that makes
Yeah.
yeah,
So
six
she's
figures
doing
and
like it's like a signaling thing, right? It's like she's very online to begin with. She's probably
yeah,
like a front end developer, some kind of rational like a more rational thought process, like a little more masculine thinking,
oh
right?
yeah,
So she
like
can
Lauren
create,
Southern archetype. Yeah,
yeah, and can make the kind of like bait that she wants for the smart like tech guy, right? And what does he want? He wants this trad imagery because he's
yes,
like inundated with the city life, right? So she's making this like this like bait essentially, this like super like a trap, and it's like posting this specific type of meme. But she lives in the city probably, and she's picking a guy who lives in the city. It's all signaling, right? There are no trads. There never were. They're not living in the cottage, and the people who are in the cottage making those TikToks and stuff, they're being funded by like super rich dudes who are like working in the city and can afford to have his wife and 4 kids in like a nice like
Yeah.
prairie. It's like
Well, a
it's
lot
all
of those
fake.
cottagecore women, they're not exactly trad. If you look at their go to YouTube, go to any cottagecore woman and go to their Q&As, they're always like into poly and they're always into
Yeah,
like
none of them are
degenerate
real,
stuff.
dude.
Yeah.
They're not real. There are real trads, and you can find them, and there are people who got married early. All that stuff exists, but this is not where it's going to be. Which is again why this is pornography, right? It's like I don't like you have to. We're all kind of playing a role, right? But this is kayfabe, and
Yeah.
that's kayfabe too.
But what I mean is that it seems that the discourse around it is becoming the thing. It's like the trads, like even the quote unquote trads or like right wingers themselves will critique these trad displays of like LARPing and like wholesome chungus. I'm living in a cottage. It seems like even the right wing will critique it. So it's like the critique of something that is itself probably not there. It's like the
Yeah, yeah,
trad e girl. We all know the trad e girl is playing a bit. It's not real. I mean, there
yeah.
are women who are like Catholic or Orthodox on Twitter, but it's not like, they don't make a display of it, but it's like making the display of it itself is the object of discourse rather
Hmm.
than the thing itself.
Yeah,
Like it's
exactly. I mean, like it's a spectrum in that sense. Yeah, it's the display that's more, and like you have to use, and also it's like the word is like doesn't point to anything at all anyway. Like the
yeah,
word is just a word that we all recognize. Like we
exactly.
all
Yeah.
know you all know what I'm talking about, but it's not.
Return
Yeah, but if you
meme.
tried to
Yeah.
like pinpoint it, it's not going to make any sense because it's not. It's like it's a collage of different amorphous things like cottagecore and the like the Christian LARPing and this and that. Like all that stuff is like it's all trad. There's no real trads.
Yeah.
So when people try to make that kind of like false equivalency, it's also weird.
Yeah. It's almost like, yeah, it is like the object of discourse. It's sort of like the critique of Dime Square, like talking about we need based art, but yet it's like the talk of based art is rather there than the
Yeah,
actual
I mean,
artwork.
they don't want base art, right? Because like it
No.
has to be sublimated, right, to be like acceptable anyway. Especially if you're in like a New York City place, you don't want
Yeah.
anything based. You can't make anything based in New York City. Shut up. We don't want it. You wanted like sublimated, formally based. That's like within Overton window, and it's only eluding, but it's not real. It's like I'm trying to think of a good example of like you want something that's like or like Chapo. Chapo is like a
Yeah.
sublimation of base, and they're not even and they're like super cringe, super left. They're like weird. Or come town. Come town's like a
Hometown is like
sublimation.
that. Yeah.
It's perfect
Yeah.
sublimation of base, right? Because it's
They'll
like
say gamer words, but yet they're
yeah,
like,
also yeah, they didn't even say gamer words. They just implied that they're going to say gamer words,
yeah.
which is exactly the point. They're
There was like
implying
one
that they're
time for New Year's or whatever where Nick Mullen dropped it on
yeah.
radar, but yeah.
And like so he's like one time ever, and it's largely the implication of something based. It's like the we might say something based is enough based for now. I
Yeah.
love Come Town, it's hilarious, but it's the you don't have to ever say it, you just have to point to the thing. It's Voldemort, you know? He cannot the names.
Yeah.
That's what Dime Square is. And it's kind of
And
cringe. And
yeah.
I mean I never went out and hung out there, but I'm kind of associated, I guess,
But
by
it
proxy.
seems yeah, it seems like they're the way that they like approach like Bronze Age pervert or like other things. It's like very like I think Anna, there's an
Oh,
internet
Anna
thing.
likes it. Anna liked it
Yeah.
before she was like super. She was in her Orthodox phase or whatever she's doing now. Before she
Yeah,
was
but
doing
like
that, she was
yeah.
still a commie doing the commie podcast. She was bringing up Bronze Age pervert.
Yeah, yeah. Well, even like Russia now, that's like the ideological breakdown. It's like they're orthodox, but yet communism is like their, nostalgic thing. But yeah, especially the war in Ukraine, like they'll still feel like throw away like the great like the Great War is to them like, is they'll see like Azov Battalion LARPing as, Austrian Patriot fans, and they'll be
No,
like, "Oh, this is just like the Great War of Independence." It's like, it's
I'm
yeah,
not up to date
patriotic
on
war, sorry,
this. I'm
patriotic
not up to
war.
date on this. I just because it's faking, not interested in
Mm.
Ukraine and Russia. I never was a Russia fan. I don't care. Not like
No,
Russia fan as in like actual like the country and its politics. That's not what I mean. I mean like I don't find Russia interesting in any
oh,
capacity. I
okay,
don't
yeah.
find Dostoevsky interesting. I don't find communism, the whole Red Scare, Cold War. I don't find any of that interesting. I don't care
Well,
about
it's
Russia.
funny. I remember
Russia's
Lev used
fucking. The only thing I find interesting about Russia is that they
yeah.
have tigers in the tundra Imagine being in a frozen desert walking around,
And
and
there's
again you get chased
tigers.
by a tiger. Are you out of your mind?
Yeah.
That's the only thing I care about Russia, though. What were you
But
about to
it's
say?
funny. No, I was gonna say like the Red Scare girls. They've been accused of being Kremlin shells. I remember even Lev would
Devron.
say that they're being paid off by the Kremlin or
Like, what are you
whatever.
talking about, bro? They're like two girls. It's they always have had the same shtick. And it's just evolved with time because it's the same vibe, right?
But
They were
it's funny
doing
because
the
they're
edgy.
masters at hovering the edgy and the
Yeah,
trad,
no,
but
that's
they're
just
not
yeah.
real. Yeah,
No,
yeah,
they're just doing what girl. It's like that's a vibe of girl, right?
yeah,
The Red Skull girl is a whole vibe. We've all encountered them. They like they were using they were saying communist edgy because it was kind of edgy because she wants to find
yeah.
like the kind of edgy
They're like
boy.
art hoes that now want to be edgy, sort of deal.
Yeah, the slightly edgy art hood. That's all they ever have been.
Yeah,
That's how their followings are, and then that's why. Now, granted, Lucas and I had a moment of self awareness. We realized that we are the raw XD. I'm so random person of the like who've grown up. So we are also
yeah,
we are the counterpart. So Bap was right about that. The Red
yep.
Screw Girl, the Bap Boy. Like, can I make it any more
Can I make it
obvious?
any more obvious? Yeah. This
Yeah.
is why I need to go to New York. I need to find an art hoe that listens to Red Scare.
Oh, so many chicks listen to Red Screw in New York City. Like, it's like
Yeah.
very common. It's not even like it's not a rarity whatsoever.
See, if I get on Red Scare, then my prospects would go way up.
That's true.
There
You get
you
on Red Screw,
go.
you can totally pull.
Oh man,
Yeah, that's what
yeah,
you need to do. You're close. You know them. No, have you not
yeah.
talked to
I know,
them?
I know Anna, but
Anna.
yeah,
Come
yeah.
on, you're
I'm an Anna
halfway
man.
there. You're halfway there.
There you go. Yeah, I could get Alex to put in a good word for
Yeah,
me,
you
and
just need both of them, and you're in.
there you go. Yeah, I'm not so much a fan of Dasha though. I'm more of an Anna man, but
Yeah, I like Anna.
yeah.
I've met them both once at like
Oh
a
man.
premiere, but I'm not friends with either of them. They're fine. I don't have any issues with them. I want one of them, one or both on my podcast. That'd be ideal. It's gonna
I I,
happen. It's
I
happening
feel like
2023. I feel it already.
oh yeah, it'll happen, bro. It'll happen because I
Mm-hmm.
feel like people make they'll make more out of them and the critique of them than like what's there. Like you know what I mean? Like I feel like even BAP has the same effect. Like people would
Yeah.
make way more out of
You
it.
know
You
how many
know?
people? I mean, eventually all of us are having this effect. I mean, not me. I'm not big enough yet. But
Well,
like, people do this about Zero HP Lovecraft. They do this about everybody who has any like 50K or more followers. Like
yeah,
the thing, what people say about BAP and what BAP actually says are so different.
diametrically opposed.
I've
Yeah,
never seen anything like it, and also Zero. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, Zero a little bit more because he does meme about to every girl about like losing weight and stuff. So
yeah.
I understand why they don't like him, even though his writing has nothing to do with that. So I get that. All right, I can't even really defend that. All right,
I feel
so
like a lot
I
of
don't know
us are like
where
that. Like
they're coming from. Yeah, high
yeah.
openness people who ended up in this kind of sphere because they're too high openness.
I think me and you are probably like that.
Yeah,
Maybe.
no, a lot of them are. I mean, Bab's like
Right.
that. Zero's like that too. He's high openness.
Yeah.
Lucas is like that. You just have gone full circle. You've
Yeah.
you've you've gone so high openness that you ended up in as a heretic.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, you're a
Yeah.
heretic. We're not like I guess we're not. We're not like conservative. We're heretical.
We're
Both
basically
of
yeah.
which are the same thing.
I call it
They're both the same thing. But
postmodern reactionary. That's what I
yeah,
call it.
post runner reactionary. I consider myself to be a heretic. I know that I would have got strung up in the Crusades.
Yeah. Was that why you? But you said like you alluded to getting canceled, but did you really get canceled, or was it more of like your own perception, or was it
Oh
over?
no, I mean I've never been
No.
canceled. Oh,
No.
with the Milady thing, I've been like harassed.
2024. I think the Republicans are gonna have to take a mulligan. Like it's gonna be
Listen,
them.
whatever
Yeah.
the hell they're saying is lying. I have friends who genuinely believe that people just didn't like him enough, and that's like you're stupid.
Mm.
No one, you don't turn out in polls against someone. You only turn out to vote for someone.
someone. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just how it
Well,
works.
Canada, we turn out to go against someone, but that's
But
different.
you still get the same person every
Yeah.
time. So
Exactly.
so you guys don't do a good job either.
No.
You don't turn out in droves against a candidate. You'll never
No.
win, especially a sitting candidate. Unless the economy is bad, but the economy was, I mean, it was the
Well, with our
pandemic, but
system,
everyone has checks. It was
yeah.
fine. Like he was fine.
Sorry, it was fortified. It was fortified.
Fortified, yeah. But now I do think genuinely, now that the narrative has been in people's heads,
Yeah.
and now that Biden's here, and even though he's horrible and he's demented,
They're
and
trying to get rid of him, I feel, with
they are trying to get rid of him. I think
secret
so.
documents. Yeah. Yeah.
I do think that they're going to try to do like they're going to. I've been trying to tell people this for a while. And everyone thinks all my real life friends think I'm insane. They're trying to put someone that's not Kamala or him in.
Or
They
Gavin Newsom, maybe.
I don't. Yeah, maybe. Actually, Gavin Newsom showed his show. He showed the correct stuff. So probably
Yeah.
they didn't want him. They picked him because it's them again. He was given his due. This is his
Yeah.
last hurrah before he dies.
Before he,
But
yeah, I
he's
mean,
demented. My friend, for I have people in real life who generally don't think he has dementia. I'm like, are you
what?
stupid, bro? Are you
What?
stupid? Anyway, he has dementia. He's not gonna live past like the lot. Like
He won't. I don't think he'll live his full term, in my opinion.
he might make it to the very end and then he dies the next year. Like you don't
Yeah.
last long when you have dementia, even with the best drugs. And so he's gonna die. They don't want
Yeah.
Kamala because she sucks and they don't like her, and they don't want to give her the chance. So they're gonna run someone against her or instead of her, and it's gonna be like Newsom or that.
Yeah, it'll be Newsom. And the
But like,
Republicans, they'll run DeSantis versus Trump.
and DeSantis will never. Like Trump might be DeSantis in the primaries, but Trump's not going to win the election. They've already
No.
shown you that.
No.
DeSantis not going to win the election either because who's DeSantis?
He's not that likable.
They're going to give you. You're going to
Florida.
get who you're going to get the spoon. Here comes the train. Gavin Newsom. That's how you're getting.
Here comes the train.
You're getting whoever they up and serve you. You're getting Mama Birded what they want to give you.
Well, that's what they want to do with Clinton, but Trump destroyed that.
Genuinely, here's the thing. I would have picked Clinton over Biden. If it was like, I don't want, like, if you were like, okay, if they were like,
they're both evil, but let's
if they sat down and went on the screen like, listen, we're not going to do this charade anymore. You're not getting Trump.
You're not getting Trump. You're not getting.
Well, you can have one of a few other people. Yeah. I would pick Clinton 10 out of 10 times because at least Clinton is A, not demented, and B, we know what we're going to get. We're going to get industrial complex. She's going to be a little bit self-motivated. She's going to be a psychopath, but we like that. But she wouldn't get us in Ukraine. I'll tell you that.
No.
Clinton would have been like, off Putin, and also we're not going to give you billions of dollars to Ukraine.
You know what Clinton would have done? I think she would have just given the Donbass to Putin and be like, you know what? We don't want this. We don't care. Like,
Biden has to do it because
it's become a current happening. It's like it's a religiosity to the leftoids.
But Hillary, you think Hillary gives a fuck about Ukraine? Get out of my face. Hillary would have been like, also, you know who? It wouldn't have ever happened because she's not demented. So Putin would never have invaded in Ukraine if Hillary was in charge. No, because Hillary is a competent leader. We don't like her. She's a demon. But who do you want in charge of the biggest superpower on the planet? Do you want the demented old man, or do you want the demon who's going to get done? I support the demon. I'll take it. I want a strong leader. I don't need some like whatever. Hillary.
You think they'll run Hillary again or no?
I wish they did. I'm okay with it. I'll take it over. I like her more than Gavin Newsom. I don't want a stooge.
Well, Newsom's right in my opinion.
Yeah, I want another like moronic stooge in charge. Give me the devil himself. I don't need. You know what I'm saying? Why
give me pure establishment. Don't give me Morlock. Don't give me.
Why are we giving these these lesser demons? Give me Mephistopheles. Give me Satan himself.
Yeah, don't give me Baphomet. Give me Satan himself.
I want the real. Put Satan on the throne unless this is.
Can you imagine if they run a Republican lesser demon? They'll run like who could they even run that has the power to do it?
No one. It's over. They've removed any inkling that there's a
that the Republicans can be a president ever again.
Yeah, they've removed like very quickly and very soon. They're gonna stop with the charade of like there's a counterweight to this.
There's two-party system.
We don't have everyone already implicitly knows we don't have a two-party system.
Well, look what they did to Blake Masters. Like, and all of it. It's funny because all of us in the right, we have egg on our face because we thought Blake Masters was a shoo-in.
Not me, because I'm not dumb. All right. I have a whole podcast.
I have a lot of friends who interviewed him. Okay, I can't say too much.
I like Blake Masters as much as the next guy, but I like 0 to 1. Love it. Yeah. I'm not stupid. There's no two-party system. I've never had any delusions that politics works. It's fake. Okay. We had one last hurrah because of the internet. Thank you,
Trumpism.
Internet.
Yeah.
And I was just lucky.
It was 2016 was our Woodstock, bro. Yeah.
It was Woodstock, exactly. And that's literally going to be what it is forever. That was lucky. There was a lucky alignment of stars and them being too overconfident, and they got played. They got back ranked checkmated, right? But it's over. You're never getting that again.
Thank you for listening to the Content Minded podcast, where every Wednesday there are interesting guests, amazing ideas, solo streams, and discussions on a diverse array of topics from art, philosophy, history, and more. The free version will be available both here on YouTube and as a downloadable link on Anchor and Spotify as well as on Substack. Each week, the full, uncensored, and spicier version will now be available on both Patreon and Substack, where you will have access to the full archive of both Content Minded and of Giant Reviews, where I break down interesting texts every week, including other exciting paywalled articles and good content. Thank you all. Please like, share, and subscribe. God bless. Goodbye. Help keep the content renaissance alive. Too sweet.